What? Yeah! What? What? Check this out, right? What? What? Yeah! What? What? Check this out, right? What? What? Yeah!
Good morning. Let me know if you guys can hear me because I have my microphone today. So I need to know if it's actually working. It showed in the backstage that it was, but I'm not sure. And does it sound okay? Do I need to turn the volume up? I have not tested out my microphone yet, and I've literally have never used it. So I'm a little nervous about it. Okay, cool. You can hear me. All right, awesome. Yay, it's working. I'm like trying out all kind of like different things here and there to kind of make things a little better. I've got like 2 lights on me today. They're more like sun colored, like an orangey color. So I've got 2 on me to hopefully like give me some color instead of trying to be so white, but it's like darkening the rest of my house. So it's been nuts. I'm like trying to figure out a way to make it work because I got a second ring light, but it shows like colors and stuff. And I wanted to show the colors off, but my walls are brown. So I'm like starting to learn through other people's videos and YouTube videos that you have to have like white walls for those colored lights to even work. Because I tried to put this light up against this wall over here, and you couldn't see any color whatsoever. You could just see like a color in the reflection of this thing right here, and that was it. So I got to figure out something to make these like light things work. And now I'm trying out the microphone, so we're gonna see. I don't know how well this is gonna work with video playing today because I don't have headphones, so it might like double up on the echo. I'm not fucking sure, but we're gonna see. So welcome to What, where eventually I'm probably gonna get sued by Little John for the song. I hope you guys enjoyed the song that was playing on the intro. That was made by Yona yesterday, especially for me. So thank you, Yona. If you guys want to figure out a way to donate to his cause, he's super, super talented. I can send out his Venmo and stuff if anyone wants to help support him. He's definitely got a lot of talents, and he's not charging anything. So it's the least that I could try to figure out to do for him. But it was absolutely fun to hear that song. I think it's super fun. I love Little John. I'm a millennial, so definitely really cool for me to hear that kind of stuff because it's super, super nostalgic for me. And plus, it has the title of my song, which I never even put two and two together. Like, of course, I love Little John. My name of my show is What? I'm such an idiot. I'm gonna get sued. I'm gonna get sued for sure, but it's okay. uh so good morning, Dolores. Good to see you. Everybody go check out Around the World with Brandy and Dee. I believe they're on again tonight. I think they were on yesterday. Very good show. I think they're going to be having Madeline on their next show, who is extremely informative in Venezuela and South America. A lot of things going on down there. She spends a lot of time down there. She speaks their language, which is awesome. She's a very, very amazing translator when it comes to interviewing people that are down there. She used to have a show, or she has had a show here with us at KRTD for a while. And now she's joining Brandy and Dee because Brandy and Dee, Dolores, want to cover some of the South America stuff on their show. And Madeline is like the perfect person to do it. So definitely go check out their show. It's amazing. Good morning, Holly. Good to see you. Les Bones, thank you for showing me that, or telling me that my thing was set for 10 minutes ahead, because I had no idea. I was like preparing, getting ready, and then you were like 20 minutes. And I'm sitting here like, what the fuck? And I look at the time and it said 10:10. I'm like, oh, I must have done that last night while I was super tired. So thank you for telling me. Yesterday was a disaster for the left. The average citizen is probably thinking that centrism is the right way to go. I mean, it's got to suck for the regular voter yesterday, especially like the uninformed voter, because if you're an informed voter and you understand all this, janky stuff that's going on in politics, you know that, like, if anything, I'm pretty sure the Democrats are like super stoked about the fact that they don't have a super majority, or even, a majority in the House or the Senate, because now they can pretty much pretend like they're fighting for the regular people and allow the Republicans to stop them. And then, like, instead, it always reminds me, like, when the Dems are in charge, it reminds me of like a person that's like, let me at him, don't hold me back, I can get this. And then he's like holding his own face back, but then, like, when Republicans get into office, it's like he removes his own hand, and then the Republicans can put their hand on his face so he can continue going, let me at him, I'm gonna keep fighting. That's what it reminds me of, is like they're just holding themselves back, and now the Republicans are holding them back. So I am on time. Good. Okay, good. You all can hear me. Good. Lighting is good. Okay, sounds good. Back to work. See y'all in a couple hours. Love ya. Hey, sorry about the temporary ban Wait, I got banned last night? Where did I get banned at? Uh-oh. Did I get banned somewhere? I don't even realize I got banned somewhere. Of course. Good morning, Amber. Good to see you. Hope you're having a nice day at work. Yeah, there is no left here. Oh, the Tomorrowland. Oh, you're good. You're good. I think that's like the third time that that's happened on my show, so it's absolutely fine. It's bound to happen eventually. I'm pretty sure with some of the videos that I'm going to be watching today, it's going to happen again. So, because I found Matt Walsh, I was going to start with some other stuff, but I saw Matt Walsh went on to Joe Rogan talking about same-sex marriage and the nuclear family. So I was like, ooh, I want to watch that with everybody and then do some kind of research for it. And then like the TYT versus Matt Gaetz, I'm pretty sure at some point today I'm gonna get copyright striked again. It's just bound to happen because it's my life. Like I always say, I'm in the eye of Sauron and I can't get out of it now. Once he saw me, he's like on me. So it doesn't even matter anymore. I don't it is what it is. Okay, good. Everything looks like it's live, even over on Rockfin. But that video, man, the Tomorrowland video yesterday was awesome. I should have watched the rest of the thing when I got off yesterday. I didn't even think about it because that shit looks so much fun. Biden's speech. I saw he was giving a speech right when I was going on right now, but I didn't or as you like to call him bidet. Yeah, I saw that he was talking, but wasn't he also talking like last yeah, he was talking last night about the midterms. Yeah. See, I didn't even pay attention because he seriously reminds me of like Attack on Titans. So, exactly. We need to go to Mordor. Yeah, exactly. Bring Dobby with me. I just need to find me like I need to find me a short, chunky friend that likes potatoes. And then I'm good to go. We could go kick Sauron's ass together. So yeah, the one from yesterday. I did not watch it, but I mean we can if you want to. It looks like it's only about 12 minutes long. Oh wait, no, this one says watch full president on midterms. That's almost an hour long. We can watch like the 12-minute one for sure if you want to. I'm looking at it right now. Here, I'll show you. I typed in Biden's speech. So I think this one's only 11 minutes, 35 seconds, but this one's an hour. God, look at his face. Just his face alone is fucking creepy. And see, like the rest of them are like in 2-minute chunks. So now you got me interested. Did he say something interesting about the midterms? Is he gonna be like, we're gonna keep fighting, but the Republicans taking control are gonna hold us back? He actually took questions pre-assigned, probably. Okay. That's interesting. Okay, so he didn't do anything special. I mean, I'm down to watch it for sure. For sure. I'll keep that right there. Really quick so I can waste like 15 more minutes before I get started on things because I kind of like wasting a half an hour at the beginning. So my day yesterday, watched a lot of YouTube videos. There was a lot of people on yesterday. I know who was it? Colin and Reef were on last night. So I was watching that. They had some people on. I believe their name is Do Dissidents. They sound like radio talk show hosts, like radio dudes. So I don't know who they were, but they seemed pretty interesting. They seemed, they talked about the doom and gloom and the shittiness of both parties. So it was actually pretty interesting to watch them. I had no idea who it was, who they were before last night, but they seemed cool. So I'm not sure I can watch Brandon for 10 minutes. Okay, we can definitely save it for like a little bit later once I get through with all the other stuff. I mean, we can sit. I love sitting and shit talking when he says things. So what? 3 hours, 11 minutes. Any questions? Biden word salad screened question. Yeah. It's not the Republicans I'm scared of holding us back. It's the parliamentarian, right? That's exactly it. Like when we're Democrats are in charge, they found a way to not get anything passed, like parliamentarian. But now, if if the House gets taken over by the Republicans, now they've got somebody to hold them back and be like, we're fighting for you guys so hard. But, the Republicans have the House. And in 2024, we have to win back super majority and make sure that Biden gets elected so that way we get all this stuff passed. Because the last 2 years, we didn't do shit. And now the next 2 years, we aren't going to be able to do shit. But in 4 years, for the next 4 years, after 2 years from now, we'll be able to do shit if you help us get in the seats. Oh my God. It's ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous. It's disgusting. You watch Due Dissidents on election day. They're pretty good. Okay, cool. Yeah, I've never heard of them before. I might start watching them if I can find them on YouTube or wherever they are at. I have never seen a single episode or heard of them before, so they definitely sound like radio guys. Yeah, exactly. I wouldn't miss Pelosi's antics either. I can't believe she's still like, the leader of the House. So at least in the Democrat side, I still can't believe it. It's freaking wild. For especially how, like, I don't know, there's just other people that could be, at least do something different. So you've never heard of them before either? Okay. Yeah, I never heard of them before last night. So other than watching indie last night, what else did I do? Oh, I started playing some more of the Grounded game yesterday, which now I'm at another part where I'm stuck because I've never had fears like this before, except for in certain video games. And this video game is like the scariest video game, I swear. It's almost to me like the same feeling as Subnautica, which is a alien planet that's fully underwater, so everything you do is underwater. It almost feels like it's from the same creators, that stupid game, because they do a really good job at making you feel like something is there, but you don't know what it is. And yeah, you could chat to No Man's Sky. I haven't played No Man's Sky in a couple months, but I do love that game too. You're gonna play it today? You've been sick? Yeah, let me know if you play it today and we'll play together. I got a little bit further, like I said. I'm stuck at a spot right now, so I got a little bit further in the game. I killed off all those little red bugs and I fixed the laser. But I started exploring, which was probably a really bad idea for me to do because holy shit, there are some really scary things in the game. Like, you don't know how big the sandbox area of the game is. Like, you have no freaking idea how big it is. So when you start exploring and they don't give you any markers for you to put down, like you get one marker of where you want to put so you can remember to, whatever, so you can remember that spot. And I always put it right at my home base. So that way, when I go explore, I know where to get back to my home base. Because other than that, there's no fucking way you can tell where you're at in this game. Like, and just so you guys know, Grounded is kind of like Honey, I Shrunk the Kids, where you're shrunk to really, really small and you're out in a yard and you've got to just survive out in this yard, including all the bugs that come with being in yards. So I'm exploring. I found a juice cup, or like a juice box with a straw, and it drops like 1 or 2 drops of juice a day. So that helps me get the drinks that I need. But then I started exploring a little bit more and I would see spider webs out in the distance. And I'm like, oh, no. Like, I'm like level 2 in the game. There's no fucking way I'm going after a spider. Like, if a ladybug can kill me right now, there's no fucking way I'm going after a spider. So I saw the spider webs like in 2 different areas. I was like, nope, not going there. So I started going in another way to kind of explore in a different section. And it's fucking scary. Like, it's so scary. You look, because the leaves in the grass, like the grass and, the flowers and everything are really, really tall. Like, if you were to imagine yourself standing in the middle of New York City with like all those really tall sky high buildings, that's how tall these grass pieces are. And so you're trying to like look through all the grass to kind of see if there's something out there in the distance, like a cookie or, something just to kind of, make you survive or help you survive. And so I'm looking out in the distance in the grass and I see the grass is just sitting there and it's just, normal, but I see like one or two grass pieces and it's like just moving at like super, super fast. And it's only two or three pieces. And I was like, that's big. Whatever that is that's moving those grass pieces is fucking big. And if it's a spider, I'm gonna lose my shit because there's like wolf spiders in this game. There's black widows in this game. There's all kinds of scary ass spiders and bugs in this game. And I saw those grass pieces moving. Never, never, never in my life have I ever felt so scared. I know it's a fucking video game, but it seriously reminds me of like the Subnautica game of knowing that there's something out there that's really big, but all you can see is the grass pieces moving and you don't know what the fuck it is. So I just turned back around and went back to the base and then I quit the game. I was like, nope, I don't even want to know what this is. Like whatever you guys did in this game with that animation pieces, I want nothing to do with it. So I am going to wait for Les Bones to get on with me today, and I'm going to make him go out there while I stand guard and see what the fuck that is. And if he dies, oh fucking well. I'm sorry, Les Bones, but I want to know what it is, and I'm super, super scared. So you played it a bit, and it seems fun. If you want to hang out and play with me and Les Bones at some point, it's fucking insane. I'm barely in that game and it's so much. Yeah, you're about to find out today how scary it is, dude. That shit's insane. Insane. Go and fix that laser and then go start to wander around. Just keep looking out in the distance and look at the grass pieces. You'll see like out in the distance those couple of pieces that are moving and you're like, no, that's huge. I don't even want to know. If it can move the grass, then it's got to be big because nothing around you can move grass like that. So it's nuts. You'll catch up while you'll play while you listen so you can catch up. Yeah, it's like it's a bug's life. Exactly. Yes, where you're shrunken down to the yard, yeah, and trying to survive. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about, the grounded game. It's so much fun. I'm playing on, I think me and him are both playing on PC. I made myself an Xbox account so that way we can like all, me and my friends like Les Bones, and if you want to can team up and be friends on there, and then we can start like the shared, there's like an multiplayer online version, and so we can do it like that. That way we can all play together. There's a reason why I got the game. Was so I can play with other people. Cause I've played Subnautica by myself and it's so terrifying. I can't play it without cheats cause I'm super scared. So like in Subnautica, everything's underwater and you got to keep going even further down underwater and the monsters and the stuff gets bigger and scarier. And, I've always played it with like, I don't have to go up for air. I don't have to like get upgrades on my machines when they go down and the gravity the pressure gets more. I'd use invisible too, so that way no animals see me and attack me. It's ridiculous. I have to play it with cheats because I'm scared. And I don't want to do that with this game. I want to like legit play it. So, and if it's allowing multiple players, then that's probably the only way I feel like I'm going to be able to get this game done. Because I have both Subnauticas and I beat the first one, but like I said, I beat it with a bunch of cheats. Now I played the second one and I've got about halfway through it, but I'm on cheats still. So I still use the same cheats even in the second one. And I don't want to do that. And there's no multiplayer in Subnautica. So I was like, Grounded is kind of the same. It's just you're small and in a yard instead of, normal size in a huge underwater planet. So it's terrifying. I love playing horror games because they don't scare me. That's why I love these kinds of games, is because there's something that the developers did that's completely different than the rest of the horror games. It's not like the stupid jump scares or the ones where you feel like you've got to hurry up and finish or else you're going to die kind of thing. This is kind of like at your own pace. If you see something and you're scared, you can turn away. I enjoy that kind of thing. The whole jump scare, I'm just like, you guys suck. Like, okay, you jump scared me really quick and now it's over with. It doesn't really scare me. It just more pisses me off than anything. Like whenever I, see people get scared like on the sides of like Hollywood streets and like there's somebody in a statue standing there and then he like jumps out and scares the person. I'm the kind of person that would probably punch the dude just because it pisses me off more than it scares me. Like, don't fucking do that while I'm walking, you asshole. Yeah. Add us on Steam. So, oh, you do. You have it on Xbox. It is cross-platform. Yes, it is. Just Xbox and PC though. That doesn't have it for PlayStation yet. So, definitely can do cross-platform. I can give you my Xbox account name and then you can add me on there. And I think that's how you do it. Because when you play the game inside, it says, I have a game saved for the multiplayer. And it says you can add friends. And so when I go into add friends, it's like, here's your Xbox friends list. And I don't have anybody in there. So I figure if we add each other on Xbox and become friends on there, we'd be able to find each other for the game. Because I try to do it through Steam. I try to add Less Bones in there multiple different ways, and that one didn't work. But we can do Steam as well if you want to, because I also play Fortnite, which is a lot of fun for me. I have probably put way too much money into Fortnite in my lifetime. I'm like a monthly subscriber, plus I get the battle pass every 3 months. Yeah. So I play Fortnite as well, and that's on my Steam account. So if you want to play some other games too, I'm down. And I know Fortnite's on Xbox and it's cross-platform as well. So yeah, I don't play on PC either. The Grounded game is the first game I've ever played on PC in a really long time. I think the last time I ever played a PC game was Grand Theft Auto Vice City in like 2003, 2004, I believe, on a PC. So it's been a long, long time since I played. It's definitely like I got to get used to the buttons and all that stuff, like because to walk forward is the letter W and AD is left and right, S is backwards. Inventory, you press I. Yeah, it's really, I'm not used to it. I'm used to controllers, so it's something I have to get used to for sure. Yeah, the scares are more organic and random. Yeah, in these kind of games, yeah, the like Grounded and Subnautica for sure. Yeah, it is cross platform. Yeah, come and play with us. I'll live stream on my Twitch. That way, we'll have it saved and we could like cut out some fun pieces and stuff. It would be fun. I can't wait. I think it's gonna be a blast. Look at me wasting time talking about video games. Video games. I played some Assassin's Creed as well last night. I think I'm really getting into Assassin's Creed games. And I'm starting to notice that like other than the big open world sandbox games, I really have like a specific type of genre of games that I like, which is like the role playing games, the RPGs. Because I've noticed like within probably, let's say like the last 15 years of me playing video games, it started off with Fable. I played like all the Fable games. Those were absolutely amazing. I was obsessed with those. And then I've spent the last few years just trying to find, like the last probably 7 to 8 years, trying to find a game that I enjoy. Like I've done Diablo, I've done so many different games. I even played like all the Lego Harry Potter games, which I enjoyed the Harry Potter Lego games and like the Lego Star Wars games, because it seems like those were the only games that really kind of like challenged my mind with the puzzling stuff. But then I found Horizon Zero Dawn, and then the next one, the second one came out, Forbidden West. Oh my god, like I was like, holy shit, these are my games. I've never, it's been a long time since I felt like this in a game. And to me, it was like Horizon, even though it's completely different than Fable, it kind of feels the same, like the same vibe. And then now I've gotten into the Assassin's Creed, which a few months ago I beat Valhalla on Assassin's Creed, and now I'm playing Origins, which is the Egyptian one. And I'm absolutely in love. Like, I love the open sandbox world, you know, the game not telling me I need to go here at this specific thing, you know, and I can just kind of wander freely and do what I want and pop into places and leave places, and it's just so much fun. I think I found my genre. Just give me the open sandbox world, give me a little hints of things to do. That way I can figure out what I want to do and then keep it going. So, you're sick laying in bed? Yeah, no, that's fine. You're absolutely good. The first time you ever played was on Pong. That's right. That's right. My first time ever playing video games was Nintendo. We did have an Atari as a kid, but I thought like Pong was really boring to me. Like I played it a little bit, but it was more of my mom's games. She really enjoyed it, but my mom got us a Nintendo, and I remember she got us like when she got us the cartridge with the game on it, it was Mario Brothers and Duck Hunt. So it was like 2 in 1. Those are my first ones ever playing. Then I got into like really crazy Nintendo games that a lot of people didn't even know about, like um what was it? Like something chicken something. There was like a bunch of Nintendo games that I played that a lot of people don't even remember. So that I remember. It was a lot of fun. Video games, man, I swear. Us video game generations are the best. And I'm noticing like it's really good to escape. It's a very good escapism, escaping reality, escaping the bullshit of the day or whatever, you know, just separating yourself from reality. And especially like in like with like Assassin's Creed. You just hop on that fucking horse and just ride off into the distance. And it's so pretty and it's so relaxing, and I don't have to think about shit except for how pretty this game is. That's it. That's all I care about. Yeah, that's right. Mario Duck Hunt. You got the slasher too, the 2 in 1 cartridge. That shit was amazing. I tried to play, I mean, I did play the Duck Hunt because we had the gun as well, the Nintendo gun. So but I started like I was a super cheater, so I would put the gun like right up against the TV and like follow the duck and like shoot him while the gun was on the TV. Totally cheated. It was so great. So I was like, this game sucks because I can cheat too much. So I like playing Mario because it felt like obviously it felt like more of a challenge until I found out that in Mario you can find those secret tunnels and get yourself to like, you know, all the way to the last like level 8 and in the dungeon castle and beat it that way. Like I was like, all right, I found cheats. This isn't fun anymore. Yeah, Pong was boring. Yeah. Like the role playing games, Final Fantasy series. See, I want to get into the Final Fantasy series, but I feel like I'm so late. Really, really late on it. I mean, it's 2022 and I've never played a Final Fantasy game. So I feel like if I get into it, I might have to get into like one of the newer games and then go back to some of the older ones because that seems to be how I enjoy those. Like Fable, I started playing Fable 2, found out I liked it, played Fable 1 and then 3. With the Assassin's Creed, Valhalla is their newest one, and I really enjoyed that. So now I went 2 back. Because anyone's further back on Assassin's Creed, I've tried and I don't really like them. So I went 2 back from Valhalla, and then I'll be playing the next one after Origins that I'm playing now, which is in between Origins and Valhalla. And then I'll be up to date, at least with the last 3. So usually that's how usually I find video games that I like is the newer ones, and then I'll go back a little bit and kind of try to get into the storyline of everything. I think Horizon Zero Dawn was the first time I got into a game at number 1 when it came out, or when it, you know, before any others that I played. So yeah, but I really want to. I've heard Final Fantasy is amazing. I really do want to get into it at some point in my life. Maybe one day. There's so many Final Fantasies though. I used to sit behind the couch pretending I was hiding behind a rock or something. He was a weird kid. That's awesome. Oh, that's okay. I'll throw out a little secret thing about me. When me and my sister were little, We were so obsessed with the Lion King that we would like crawl around the house, like doing the pretending that we were lions because we were, Lion King. We were lions. So I get it. I was a weird kid too. That's what you do, You grow up in like the before the internet generation. You still have that child immaturity because my kid is like 14, and I know at her age I was still, watching cartoons, doing stupid kid stuff. Not her, not her. Kids are so much more mature nowadays. It's wild. Oh, Dragon Warrior games were your jam. Good to see you, Robert. Sorry I didn't say hi. Hello. All right, so I could talk about video games and stuff forever. So if we want to get started on video watching, I've got some stuff that we can watch. What was it that I found? Like Matt Walsh going on Joe Rogan. I've got here on my notes. I was wanting to look into who DeSantis is, because I guess from what I've been hearing recently, he's going to be like really, really big contender against Trump. So I kind of wanted to learn who he is. I have no idea anything about him except for his name. Then TYT went on to, or I mean, Matt Gaetz went on to TYT when he won the other night. This was the first time I watched TYT in probably a year or so, over a year. But it was really interesting to watch Cenk and Matt Gaetz go back and forth at each other, getting like super, super petty with the name calling and the, like you did this, well, you did this, and you did this. So that shit was hilarious. Then I have, did you see your kid's reaction to that Lion King scene? No. You love the video game talk? I know. Me too. I do too. Hey, I mean, I can keep talking video games because it's more I can just clip out and leave it as is, and less work I have to do later. Then next I have you watched the Matt Walsh and Rogan episode, and the Matt Gaetz TYT argument was fucking hilarious. Then I also have, so I guess Casey Anthony is coming out with a documentary about herself. Then also this trans YouTuber named Nikita Dragun was arrested, and now I guess it might be that she's she got OR'd, so she's out of jail, but she was in jail for a little bit, and they had put her in the men's facility. And so she had asked the judge if she could not be in there anymore. Seems like they were purposely misgendering her. It started out as her just being a spoiled brat, but her having to deal with that shit in the jail was pretty fucked up. Like when parents film their react to Simba losing their father. Oh, we never did that part. That's really sad. Don't talk about that. All right? Mufasa did not deserve to die. I'm just kidding. And then my last one I might want to talk about. I'm still iffy. I haven't brought this up at all yet because there's still, I had the wrong impression. See, I didn't realize that I was like sitting here thinking exactly when the whole like Elon Musk was talking about the blue checks and the $8 and stuff. I was sitting here thinking like, well, there goes free speech. Like, you want to talk about how you want to own Twitter and you want to bring back free speech. These charging $8 a month isn't free, but that was very, very entitled of me to think that, because I've started to realize that I'm like thinking exactly like how Kyle Kalinske is thinking, how AOC was thinking. I was like, no. Like, what am I doing to myself? Why am I automatically thinking this way? Which, I mean, I can understand, but see, that's where I had to stop and be like, all right, what else does this mean? Because if I'm thinking like AOC and Kyle Kalinske, there's something that I'm not looking further into, and just automatically like just free speech. I even did like a tweet about it, thinking that I was writing shit. But Warren recently put up a tweet about how like you can say what you want and it's just like the check is just to, make you feel better about yourself, like you're, I don't know, you're important or something like that. It was definitely putting something different. It put something different in my head and made me see what I was thinking wrongly about, I guess. So yeah, if I have time, I'll talk about it. It's still a little weird and confusing to me. I figure, these selfish, like, blue check people, if they really want it, they can pay the $8 if they want. It's still free to all the rest of us. So I don't see a problem with him wanting to make some extra money. Whatever, capitalism. Uh, how can you say The Lion King is the saddest film in history? Have you never seen Fox and the Hound? That is seriously one of the top saddest movies in history, for sure. The Fox and the Hound literally traumatized me as a kid. My aunt wouldn't let me watch the movie anymore because I cried so hard at the end, to the point where, yeah, she was like, no, this is doing something to you. You can't watch this anymore. Yeah, like okay, so you're saying sounds like non-blue check people might get more suppressed? Okay. I don't I'm still, like I said, I might not even talk about it because 'cause I'm still trying to learn all of it and everybody's opinions because I wanna come at it in a non-biased way to where I can see everybody's point of view, and I automatically put my point of view up and my judgmental opinion up, and so now I'm trying to backtrack and figure it all out before I even allow myself to talk about it because it's still super new, a lot of different opinions, things like that. So I just don't want to get it wrong. That's all. I really don't want to get it wrong, for sure. Don't watch the series from scratch. Right. Okay. My tongue is starting to hurt. So now it's time to watch un video so I can give my tongue a rest. No, I don't want that. What are you doing, Jimmy? All right, we're going to start. Matt Walsh, Elon Musk. You want to listen to what blue check Jimmy? I'm not paying $8. Shitting me. I can say the same shit I want without the $8 a month. I'm doing it. Yeah, did you see that meme I shared yesterday? The crayon colors all over the American map. Like, here's what we know. I swear I spent all day yesterday, the 4 hours talking about it, didn't learn not a damn thing, didn't get anything out of it. And then I was like, that was a long 4 hours just to come up with nothing. And then I saw that meme and I was like, motherfucks, how the fuck are you going to come up with something that explains my entire 4-hour video in 2 fucking seconds on a meme? Goddamn memesters. Yeah, exactly it. He changes his ideas every 5 minutes. Hard to keep up with Twitter news. It is. It is. It definitely is. Yeah, because he was like, what was it? The double blue check the other day, and then he's like, I killed it. So he even said himself on Twitter that he's gonna be doing things that are dumb and that they're gonna have to take back. So it almost seems like it's a guy who bought a business that knows nothing about how to run it. And so he's like dabbling in everything and throwing it all out there to see what sticks and what doesn't. Definitely doesn't seem like he knows what he's doing for sure. So yeah, they're still counting in certain places. Some fucking CNN this morning was talking about Lauren Boebert, how she's not going to win, and somebody was like, "Well, she could start her OnlyFans now." Like, that's wrong. That was very sexist of you. It's absolutely insane how US elections work. Yeah. I don't get why it takes so long to count. It's the rules that they have. So even if you mail in your ballot like 2-3 weeks in advance, all those ballots have to stay in the voter of registrar's office until all the day of election day ballots make it to that office. So like when I worked at the polling place closed at 8. This was in 2016. And we didn't even get the ballots down to the voter of registrars, like all the ballots from this area. Didn't even get it down there until 8:45 p.m. Now, this was 2016, mind you. So this was a presidential election. By 8:45, we got it down to the voter registrar's office. And by that time, when we had gotten those votes down there, they had already called our state for Hillary Clinton. They hadn't even started counting those ballots. So if you mail in your ballots, it stays there. Then once all those day of ballots go in there, then they can start counting. You're not allowed to count any ballots whatsoever or even touch them until all of them are there. And they were even saying a lot of these the mail-in ballots had the account number. There was like every ballot has like an SOS kind of number, where everyone is different, so everyone has its own special number. They were saying that some of those numbers were actually wrong in the mail-in ballots, and so that they wouldn't even know if those votes would even be counted and added to the counting until everyone was being counted. So like you could have had like 15,000 mail-in ballots with wrong numbers on it sitting there, and those can't be counted because the number was wrong on it. Lots of janky stuff. Plus the fact that they're not allowed to count anything until everything is there. That's where it's bullshit. And that's why it takes so long, is because that whole waiting process. You can't do anything until it's all there. Like you can't have somebody within the 2 weeks before sitting there counting all the mail-in ballots. So that's why it takes so fucking long. And instead of having like this machine or a machine running through all these ballots, they want hand counted ballots. They want people looking at these. So you got, 15, 20 people in every district, literally, with a fucking mail opener opening all the mail, looking at all the ballots. Like it's just nuts and so archaic what they're doing with this, and how they make it like super, super hard to even get things the night of. So yeah, for a minute there, for a few minutes, there was both verification and official status. Okay. So yeah, that's how mail-in ballots work. And that's how our elections work. And it's such bullshit. Okay, so Matt Walsh, Mr. Nuclear Family here, went on Joe Rogan. And I'll give Joe Rogan the benefit of the doubt. He did defend it really, really well. I'm probably going to get copyright strike for this, and I don't care because this is really good. And I'm going to try to stop it as much as I can. I've got a couple other things to go with it, that I looked up some extra things while I was watching this. So that way I've got, we're not just watching this and I don't get copyright strikes. Plus there's some really interesting information on here that he doesn't even bring up of our history. So let me know how the echo is. I'm definitely going to mute myself because that's going to be interesting with this mic. This interview is hilarious. All right. Yes, it is. We are waiting for an updated result in several races in Sacramento, which won't be updated until sometime tomorrow. Yeah. Same down here in the San Bernardino, LA County. It's still going to take a little bit of time for sure. Yeah, exactly. All Joe was doing was asking questions. And Matt Walsh was like, well, this isn't how it's supposed to be. And this isn't how it's supposed to be. And like, as if American traditional, like nuclear family and a wedding and marriage and having children and all that stuff was something that's been. Let's just watch this because I can go on the rant, but I want to go on the rant while this is going.
Which is the the context for procreation, for the building of the nuclear family.
What about people that get married that don't have kids? Are you opposed to that? What if they get married, they decide, you know what, we don't need kids. I'm
Did
gonna
he
get
see?
fixed.
This is what I'm worried about. Like, is it because Joe is on another stream, like on another social media platform now? Is that reason why we can't play it? I don't know. I don't understand. See, with the whole like fair use, I'm allowed to do this. I'm allowed to like play a little bit, pause it, talk, and then continue playing it. So that's part of fair use. If I get a copyright strike, then I'm just gonna, I'm gonna fight it like I've done everything else. So he's on Spotify, yeah. Yeah, we're about to find out right now. I told you I might get copyright striked again today. That's why Cape Socialist is totally cool. Don't have to apologize because I'm already in the ISR on. It's pretty much already there and I can't get myself out.
You get your tubes tied, let's travel the world.
Well, what do you mean am I opposed to it? I mean, I think that that every married couple should be open to life.
But what if they don't want to? Are you opposed to them being married? If marriage is only for procreation and to bond a family together, what about people that are deeply in love that never want to have children?
I don't think it's not only procreation, but that is one of the fundamental definitional aspects of it. Of course, there's more to marriage just than that.
And what about people that are infertile? They fall in love and they realize that they can have babies. They don't really necessarily want to adopt. Is that okay for them to be married? Because then by definition, marriage falls into a completely different thing. Because then it's a bond of love. It's a union of love.
Sure. I mean, that doesn't change the nature of marriage, though. It's a little bit like I say that
the nature of marriage. Do you hear that? Like as if marriage was a natural animal instinct. Like, I'm sorry, I didn't know birds get married. I didn't know lions get married. Is that part of the natural process of animals getting married? Because what I think what he's doing is adding marriage and having children or adding marriage on top of the basic animal instinct to procreate, which is absolutely a basic animal instinct. It's literally how we've evolved and how we've kept ourselves on this planet. It's literally the most basic primalist instinct that we have, is to procreate, at least in the animal sense, I guess you could say. But marriage is not at all part of the natural animal process. So I don't know where he's getting this from. Doesn't make any fucking sense, but he has a problem with butt sex. It's personal. Oh, that's good. That's good. You just wait. Just wait till he comes out with his little gay parts too. I got something for him.
What's the definition of a woman? Well, a woman is someone who by her nature can conceive children in her womb and bear children. And then the response is always, well, what about women who are infertile? Does that destroy your definition of woman? And it doesn't, because it's still a woman's nature to bear children. Not every woman will, and there will be disease and infertility and old age and all these things that will preclude that, but it's still of her nature to do so. And I would say the same thing for marriage. I mean, it is natural in a marriage for procreation to occur. It's not always going to happen in reality, though, but that's still one of the natural functions of marriage. And married couples who can't conceive children, there are other ways to be parents, like adoption, for example.
If they want to. Right. Sure. But if people want to be married and don't want to ever have children, are you opposed to them being married?
Well, I wouldn't advocate a law that would prevent it.
But would it change the definition of what their marriage is to you because they don't want to have a family? They just want to have a loving bond?
I think this would be a couple that is rejecting one of the fundamental aspects of marriage, and they should be. The
person is rejecting one of the fundamental aspects of marriage if they're not wanting to have children and wanting to just be in love, which He's still like saying like marriage is a natural thing. Like even in the animal world, in the you know, like I was talking just a minute ago, the most primal animal instincts, there are certain animals that mate for life. Like I believe mallard ducks, they mate for life. A boy and a girl, once they are together forever. So there is like a bond of love that can happen in the animal world. But then there's also in the animal world as well, animals like dolphins who procreate with anyone. They have orgies and they're whores, you know? So I just think that he's got this one track mind of how love should be, and that's how humans should live their life in this way, which is completely not a way to do it at all. I mean, yeah, because wait, there's Yona. I just got home from groceries. Oh my God, everything's so fucking expensive. I know. I did grocery shopping yesterday. I do Instacart because I don't like to go public places. I don't mind it, but I like the Instacart delivery. I got like 20 items yesterday, and it was just like random stuff, you know, like food, you know, regular thing, you know, potato chips and stuff, you know, just regular cereal, milk, things like that. It came out to like $160. It was ridiculous. I had to call my husband and be like, yo, I'm sorry, but I need to get this stuff. Like, we're out of food in this house, and this is how much it is. I felt so bad. Food is getting ridiculously out of hand. Crows invented emo. But yeah, I just don't like how he's making it seem like the whole animal primal instinct is to get married, which it's absolutely not. You know, it is to procreate, but not everything is 100% procreation, and it's not about that. Especially when you've evolved intellectually, you have more freedom to choose. Like animals, when they're in heat and they do this, they can't control themselves. You guys used to hear Izzy before she got fixed. She would just do that meow thing to where I'd feel so bad for her, because I know that that's her being in heat and feeling that and needing it, and it's this primal instinct. But she's not going out looking for marriage, you know. That's that animal primal instinct, but they don't have the intelligence like humans have. So because we've gained intelligence, we have more freedom of choice, and we can sit back and reflect and think of like, okay, it's not all about procreation. There's more to life. You know, we question life and what the meaning of life is, instead of, I just need to procreate every 6 months because I'm in heat. That's animal primal instinct, not what this guy's saying, which is like marriage and between a man and a woman and having babies and creating the nuclear family where a woman stays at home and does the house chores and the man goes. It's not that. That is not it at all. This guy is super, super wrong. So there's no crow emoji. Exactly. Elderly people get married. I'm married. Me and my husband do not have kids together at all. I've got my 2 daughters that I've had. He has his 3 daughters that he's had. And that was one of the things that really kind of bonded us together when we first started getting together, and we started talking about the idea of even putting our relationship on a piece of paper, was the fact that we understood that we didn't need to be together because we don't have kids together. There was never a need. We were never dependent. We were never needing each other for a certain reason. We were together because this is what we chose in our life. This is what we wanted in our life. And I think that's what's really helped evolve even mine and my husband's, you know, relationship, and helping me understand what a productive, healthy relationship other than what I was raised on could possibly be. Because there's that, you know, like my relationship, my marriage is nothing. Like there's a lot of stuff that is not normal in our relationship. Just his job alone, you know, knowing if I was a regular, you know, just a regular girl who's never even been in the sex industry, I know that in my own experience too, with the men that I've dated, with me being in the sex industry, I know how hard it is, like, for a regular person to have to be with somebody who's in those industries. So knowing, you know, me knowing the fact that my husband is out there making porn every day doesn't even faze me. I have no qualms about it. It's super, super okay. I am excited of the success that he has. And I think it's because of the fact that there's no judgment, there's no jealousy, open communication. We're here together because we want to be and not because we need to be. And I think all of those add up to a really strong, healthy relationship, at least in my own experience. And it's nothing what he says at all. And so does that make my marriage, not valid because it doesn't fit in his standards, these conservative standards? So that's where I see it. Yeah. You sent me a message on Discord. Yeah, my husband makes it. He's the lighting. He does lighting. Yeah, my husband is what helped me with my lighting today. So he does lighting and grip, and camera, for the porn industry. When I first met him, he was doing director stuff, but he was doing director stuff for Hustler, and Hustler kind of went downhill. I guess they lost, something happened where they just weren't making any money anymore, so they had to let a lot of people go, and my husband was one. So then ever since then, he's been kind of like working his way back up through the ranks to where he can probably, hopefully one day, be a director again. But as of right now, he does everything else, camera, lighting, gripping, all of that stuff. He even started off as a PA where he was, giving baby wipes to the porn stars in between shoots, in between takes, things like that. So yeah, and there's no jealousy, nothing like that. So, and I think that's a good, at least in my own lifetime, that's a good, to me, a healthy relationship. A solid, healthy, constructive marriage is to where you can see your significant other being in scenarios where the worst of the worst can happen, and fully 100% trusting that would never happen, and living every single day knowing that won't happen. I mean, me and him have been together for 10 years, and he's been doing this a lot longer than 10 years. So not only can I not judge him and make him stop doing something that he was doing before me, but it's something that I've trusted him to be in since the very beginning because of my own situation, me being a stripper, an ex-stripper. During the times that I was a stripper during that almost 10 years, my biggest letdown in relationships was the jealousy that came with it. Like, it was awesome at first. Guys were like, guys and girls were like, oh, I'm dating a stripper. This is super cool. This is super hot, blah, blah, blah. But after a couple of months, they're like, oh, I don't want to share you with anyone. Like, what do you expect me to do? I've been dancing a lot longer than I know you. I'm not going to give up my job and my career just because you're jealous. And so it was something that I personally looked out for and knew it was an automatic red flag for me in my relationships. So when I had met my husband, it kind of felt like it was almost like perfect, because he had dealt with the same thing in his past relationships because of his jobs, same as I felt I dealt with in mine because of my job. So we kind of connected on that. And that's kind of what helped us realize, I knew in my own history and my own experience that my relationships, they didn't need to be jealous because this was just a job. Hey, spider. I would go do my work, I would make my money, and then I would come home. And they just thought that I was doing more than that, and I wasn't. So that's why that whole that's why I had that mindset. And like I said, it's my own personal experience, but I feel like it could really help other people to see how important those things are in relationships: communication, trust, lack of jealousy, the fact that you want to be together because you want to be together, not because you want to have children and then you need to be together. You know, that shit sucks. So, yep, R.I.P. Spider. Sorry. Motherfucker was like coming down right here in front of me. If I had a girlfriend and they decided to be in porn, I would end the relationship in a nanosecond, but she would still have the freedom to do it. Yeah, and that's everybody's decisions, you know. Just never get with somebody in the sex industry. That's all you have to do. It's not that hard. Just don't get with somebody. Major lag on Twitch. Is there really a lag? That sucks. There's got to be something wrong with Twitch because I didn't even go on Twitch today. So I haven't even gone up on there yet. I'm just live streaming from there on StreamYard. So I don't know. But yeah, just never get with somebody that's in that industry. I've personally just felt like it was perfect for me because of what I dealt it with in my life. And now I'm not saying that everybody should get with a porn star or somebody that's in the porn industry, but at least the aspects of the relationship, the trust, the communication, the lack of jealousy, the fact that we want to be together. I think those are all really healthy, positive things that other people can take into an account for their relationships, instead of listening to this guy talking about marriage and having to have a baby. I know I'm getting all sidetracked, so it could be the settings. What's wrong with the settings? Here, let me play this and go over there and see.
They should be open to life. I would hope that in the future they would be, but
isn't that just a personal choice? I mean, you can have a very fulfilling life if you just follow your pursuits and your dreams and your interests, and you find someone that shares those interests with you and you share time together. It's very fulfilling and loving.
Yeah, it's a personal choice, and that I'm not advocating for like a law that says that you if you're married you have to have X number of kids.
But then why are you opposed to two gay people doing that?
Well, because again, it's not about choice. It's about what this institution, marriage is an institution, and what is it, and what purpose does it serve? And
you hear that? Not agree. Not about choice. It's about the institution of marriage. Gross. What's my opinion on foot fetishes? I heard some guys are into stinky. Yeah, there's a lot of fetishes. There's a lot of crazy fetishes. Whatever. I'm not into foot fetishes, so some people are, for sure. I think out of all the times my husband has made porn, the most popular ones, like OnlyFans and like, you know, these porn stars like side gigs and stuff, the most popular one that made him the most money was balloon popping. That's definitely a big fetish that people like. I didn't realize how big that one is. That's an interesting one that people have. They have a new latency mode and it may be turned off. Okay. I went over there and it looks like it's fine. At least in the background, it looks like it's fine. I don't know. Yeah, balloon popping. You never got why foot fetishes are a thing, but knee fetishes aren't. Why does no one like the knee? Have you ever looked at somebody's knees? Most people's knees look like human faces. It's super, super creepy. Knees are scary. I mean, there's probably somebody that's got, you know, a knee fetish. I'm pretty sure of it. So yeah, balloon popping is definitely something interesting. They like to have the girls sit on the balloons and pop them, putting them in between their boobs and popping them. For some reason, the loud popping sound is what gets these guys. There's some interesting fetishes, for sure. BDSM, that's my husband used to do a lot of that in the 90s. NoFX, the NoFX lead singer, I can't remember his name. He's like some crazy dude with blue hair, likes to wear dresses and stuff. He was very much into BDSM. His wife is a huge BDSM porn star. They used to like to do a lot of the damsel in distress kind of stuff. Definitely push the limits on what you can and can't do in porn and what you can get away with and what you can't. But now he's just more mainstream than anything. In the 90s, it was, and then even before he got into porn, his grandma owned a porn company called CalStar Productions that was originated in England. And that's why he's got his green card, is because when he was a kid, they had to move to America because England was cracking down in the 70s on porn. And so America was actually starting to open up about porn. So they decided to immigrate to America so they can continue doing that. And his grandma was actually one of the first women porn company owners that worked in America. So yes, Fat Mike. Yeah. He's done a lot of BDSM, him and his wife. If you ever watched some of their 90s BDSM porn, my husband is the maker and the director for all of that. So yeah, Fat Mike is nuts. That guy is still crazy. Don't women like it when you use their knee? Nina Hartley. I'm better with faces than I am with names. So let me look. Oh, she's an old school one from way back in the day. You know, she looks familiar. I might have seen her like around at parties and stuff. Yeah, because there she is with ew, what's his name? The dude with the big schlong that's a pervert. That guy's a fucking pervert. Ron Jeremy, he's a pervert. So no lag on YouTube. Okay. Yeah, no, I don't know her, but I definitely have seen her. I think I've seen her at like the AVN Awards or something. I'm not sure. She does look familiar. One day, man, you guys are all gonna like tell me to look up some old school porn star name from the 80s, and it's gonna end up being my mother-in-law. Because my husband's mother, stepmom, used to be a porn star, and I don't know her porn star name, so I'm just like waiting for the day that I find it. And I don't want to. And you guys are all going to be like, look up this girl, look up this girl. I'm going to get in so much trouble. Yeah, Ron Jeremy is disgusting. That guy like literally tried to get me to go into his hotel room at the AVN Awards while I was in line for coffee at a Starbucks. Like, bro, I'm in line for a coffee for Starbucks. Disgusting. You're gross. Leave me alone. He's a fucking creeper. Porn cop here. You're a bad dude. Speaking of porn, I'm curious, would you ever be a part of the industry? Not on camera. There are a couple of Hustler movies where I am in the credits as the production manager. I think like 2, maybe 3. One of them I'm a writer. So I've done a little bit in the industry, but I would never do on camera. Even when I was stripping and dancing, I only did sometimes I would do topless, but most of the time it was just exotic dancing. So pretty much wearing a bathing suit on stage and never taking anything off. Mostly it was about the talent of dancing and being able to do tricks on a pole and stuff than showing off your goody goods. So I did more. I never fully delved into the fully nude part of any of the industry. But I've dabbled my, fingers into like the behind the scenes stuff in the porn industry. So yeah, if you ever Google Lens her face, no, don't do that. If you guys want to look at the porns that I've written and production managed for, one of them, what is it? They're all from Hustler. So one of them was called Tijuana Hookers, I believe, was one of them. Now this was back in like 2013, 2014. Another one that I did writing for was called Medieval MILFs, which was a squirting video, squirting movie. And then I can't remember what the last one was. It's been so fucking long. But yeah, I've done behind the scenes stuff for a lot of the things. So you're a Hustler, baby. Yeah, I'm in Hustler. If you look up what is my stage name for them when I did it? I think it was Scarlett Sinclair. So Scarlett with a K. and 2 T's and an E at the end, and then Sinclair, Sinclair. And if you look up Joel Sinclair, you'll see all the movies that my husband has made. Sinclair is his stage last name, and Joel is his name. So he's done a lot of them. I don't have to change my name if I want to join the yes, you do. Well, no, less bones. You should change it though from less bones to more bones. The names that they come up with, man, I swear. So they're nuts. Yes, it's very gross. I don't like it. Like when I did the medieval MILFs and they were squirting, I couldn't be in the room because it made me gag. It was really gross. I don't know why. I can't. Sometimes the smell, it's pretty, obvious. But other times it's really funny and it's really fun. There was one time we did a shoot, one of the scenes for the Tijuana hookers. We did it in the bathroom at Hustler, the building. And we had to like trash up the bathroom to make it look like it was like a rundown, like public bathroom in Tijuana. And so we were throwing we had toilet paper all over the place. The place just looked really, janky, like a public restroom. And these two were going at it in the bathroom. And this motherfucker, the dude sat on the toilet and had the girl on top of him and they were going at it. And then they switched positions. And when they switched positions, this guy had, he had toilet paper stuck in his butt crack. And I couldn't tell him because I was super embarrassed for him and didn't want him to be embarrassed with the girl because I think he actually liked the girl. He thought that she was cute. So I didn't want to embarrass him and I didn't say anything. And I swear my husband is like such a pro. He was like all up in the money shot and he like was able to get the camera angle right in where it needed to be to get all the good stuff. But like right on like 2 inches outside of the camera view was the toilet paper. So he did not get the toilet paper at all in the shot, which was super professional of him. The scene was over. We were done for the day and he put his pants back on. And I know he went home and saw that he had toilet paper in between his butt crack because we still didn't tell him. I felt so bad for him. So sometimes, yes, it's really gross, but sometimes there's like shit like that that's really funny that you guys as watchers will never know. But me, if I ever saw that video, I would be like, oh shit, I know that. I know what happened there. So sometimes it's fun. Absolutely blast. Your late aunt worked for Hustler magazine? Nice. Hell yeah. Yes, you're absolutely right. Yes. It's nuts. I mean, but see, these girls that do like the big squirting and stuff to where they make it shoot out, they have to do it so many times that the first couple times it's a mixture of the two, but after a couple of shots, yes, it's just straight up pee. These girls are like pounding 2 bottles of water and then, waiting like a couple of hours and going at it and just everywhere, and it absolutely is. They make it look like it's not, but sometimes a lot of it is for sure. Sex work is real work. I am very much a big advocate of sex work. So yeah. Nice. Hell yeah. You were Penthouse, and once I have to drive the Penthouse Pet of the Year around the city to radio interviews. How interesting. The one time I went to the AVN Awards, we were working for Penthouse. So that whole weekend, all 4 days, we stayed pretty much at the Penthouse booth, taking pictures of like people with the Penthouse pets. That's where I met a lot of the girls that I really do enjoy. There were a lot of really amazing girls working at Penthouse during the time that we were working there. Anna Silk, she's absolutely amazing. I love Anna Silk. I call her my redheaded stepchild because when I met her, she was new at Penthouse. And so she kind of felt like she was left out, like not really the cool one. Now she's huge girl. So doing cool stuff. There was also Diamond Skin. She was amazing. I don't think she's doing porn anymore. I think she does ghost hunting. Then there was Jessa Rhodes. She was super fucking hot. I loved Jessa Rhodes. There was also a girl with my last name in there too. I think her name was Alexis Sunderland, something Sunderland, and she was a Penthouse pet as well. And we kind of bonded a little bit because we had the same last name. So I thought that was really interesting. So that's where I met a lot of the girls that I really enjoy was at Penthouse. There was some really, really nice, down-to-earth, regular-ass girls, especially like Anna, Jessa, and Diamond. All three of those girls are like me. Like I felt like I was hanging out with my people when I hung out with them. So okay. Yes, there is, and I really enjoy that drink. You were Penthouse. Oh, wait, I just wrote that, or I just read that. There are legitimate critiques of the porn industry from a socialist, anti-capitalist perspective. I think, see, with it, what it is the problem with, especially the people in the industry, what they're saying is like they want it legalized, but not, like they want it regulated to where these women could be independent contractors, do their own work, contract themselves out with people that they want to. They're more like actors. They have agents, and companies will get a hold of the agents, and the agents will send these girls over, and then that's kind of how they run things. These girls want to be able to control it themselves. So what they're worried about is if it got fully legalized, deregulated, that it would turn very capitalistic, that to where like kind of how it is now, Larry Flint, Penthouse, Playboy, they're all owned by men, and it's not fair. These women are the ones that are working, and they're feeling like they're like escorts working for pimps. And so they're wanting it legalized, but they're wanting it regulated to where these women can be in control of their own lives instead of feeling like they have a pimp who is offering them jobs. You know, because a lot of them even do things like their agents send them to like Saudi Arabia for a fucking week, and it's pathetic how they're treated over there by the princes. So there's definitely a lot of some bad stuff that's going on, but then a lot of those women too, they really enjoy it. You know, they're like, oh, I get to go over to Saudi Arabia for a week and make 10 grand. Awesome. You know, so it depends on the person for sure. They'd be charging an ass tax. getting nerdy commie. I love that about her. Aw. Am I interested in reading Marx or learning about him? I know about Karl Marx, some of it. I know like the difference between Marxist communism and Leninist communism. I'm more friendly towards the Marxist communism. Lenin communism seems a little bit authoritarian to me, but I see where the Marxist communism started and how people really enjoyed that, and how Lenin kind of took it over and ruined it. So I'm definitely more keen and open to Marxist communist theory. So I do know a little bit, and I'm down to even learn more if you guys want to like turn me into a full-on commie. Maybe one day I'll wear my hat, my Russian kitty hat for you guys. Okay, you're gonna be back soon? All right. Yeah, exactly. So they can work for themselves. That's exactly the whole point of it, is they want to be able to work for themselves and not have to give a piece of it to their agents and this company. And they don't want to, you know, they want to be able to make their own money. You know, a lot of these stars are still being paid, you know, to make videos and stuff for these companies, but a lot of them also have their own websites, you know, to where they're doing it themselves as well. So just giving these women more freedom to make the choices that they want, for sure. I believe that, yeah. Anarchism is impractical, because that's the thing I learned in econ, my senior year, government econ, is that in culture, in at least in human culture, you can't have anarchism, because no matter how much everything breaks down and everything turns into you know, a wild west or something, you know, or into basic instincts, there's always going to be someone that's going to take charge. You know, you're going to, even if you have like a community that's not going by the laws, you know, of America and its own like sovereign little area, there's still, people have to do a certain thing for everybody else to survive. You know, the communion and the helping out, so you receive food but you also help out and put into the community. There's no, anarchy is a good theory, it's just never can be, because human nature always makes people do stuff in a certain way to where we can all work together and benefit. So that automatically cancels out anarchism, because anarchism is like every man for himself. That's just it. No rules, no boundaries, no nothing. Like even in these communes where people are like, we're in a commune or an anarchist commune. No, you're not, because you're growing food for the rest of the people that are there. And that way you all can eat. Like that's community involvement. If you were anarchist, you would just, oh, I'm hungry, I'm going to go out and find something to eat no matter what it is. You know, so that you're right. There is no such thing as anarchism. It can't be. It can't. So waiting for this capitalist movie. Interesting. Maybe I'll go full anarchist. Engels was the brain, Marx was a plagiarizing publisher. Interesting. Even if you disagree with the authoritarianism of Lenin, he had the right intentions. Jimmyisms. Exactly. There is a lot in dialect. Abso-fucking-lutely. And it's weird, is like somebody can say something and tons of people can take it into tons of different ways. So yeah, because I do believe that at least with the Marxist communism, he had the right idea. If you read a lot of villain stories and people that were bad in history, they thought they were doing right. And that's where you have to look at it through that way too, is like, why would they do something like that? It's because they don't think that they're doing anything wrong, that they're leading the good life, that they're pursuing, you know, all that is good. So, but yeah, I'll have to learn more about Lenin. I have, like I said, I don't know too much about Lenin except for that he was an authoritarian. So what's up, bestie? Daniel in the house. Good to see you, stranger. Stranger fucking danger. I count myself as a Marxist, so should read. Okay. The road to hell is paved with good intentions. Exactly. Just like what's happening in America. We're on a road to hell, but these fucking politicians think that they have good intentions. All right, let's look about some more, let's watch a little bit more about this. Oh no, you guys are still going off in the comments. The authoritarianism of Lenin is mostly propaganda. Okay. Like I said, I'm down to learn. I do this 5 days a week. So if y'all want to give me something to watch on days, I'm down. Less work I have to do. Most are Anglo populist and not Marxist. Okay. All right, let's finish watching this fool.
With tearing down or changing this definition, especially because the people who have changed the definition haven't come up with a new one. So they say, well, that's not what marriage is. So for thousands of years, we said marriage is the procreative union. And then we had the other side who came along and said, well, it's not that. Okay, well then, like, what is it exactly? And I know you said, well, it's people who love each other. Two people love each other. Well, but then why two people? Why do they have to love each other? You know, all these kinds of questions. You get into what if they're in the same family? What if brothers and sisters want to marry? And I know every time that comes up, the advocates for gay marriage will say, well, that's a slippery slope argument. That's a fallacious, but it's actually not. It's like we're trying to get to what do you even think this institution is now, since you've rejected out what we were saying it was. And I've never found a compelling definition. And any definition offered, it's like, well, what's even the point then? Why do we even need this now?
Because marriage and people being together is an ever evolving thing. As more and more we get gain intelligence and evolve even more and ask more questions. Just because marriage was said it was a certain way at a certain time does not mean that it's stuck like that forever. Everything is meant to evolve, and these people think that once it's said one time, that's it. That's set in stone. That's the way it should be. Same thing with the Constitution. Same thing with the Bible. They all do this. They're like, that first time they said it, that's it. That's the rules. That's what it is. And it's crazy to me. Yeah, exactly. Marriage used to be purely political for alliances, right? Yeah. There were even people in history. I mean, you watch all these, girls watch these movies where we had to see that back in the day, women were, forced into marriage to make their family more financially successful. There's still to this day marriages that are put together by their parents and stuff today still. So daughters were only kept because the benefit they could bring to their family through marriage. Exactly. Financial beneficiaries. Yep. We are finally defining marriage by what it means to the people, entertaining into the union instead of political consequences. Thank you. Man, Daniel's on a fucking roll today, you guys.
I just don't see how a gay marriage in any way damages a straight marriage. I don't see it at all. It doesn't make any sense to me. It just seems to me that people want to be look, if you wanted to look at logic, especially in our modern society, which is pretty fucked when it comes to relationships, it's somewhere in the neighborhood of 50% of all marriages end in divorce anyway. They don't make it. I don't know if anything would damage marriage and damage the institution of marriage is the option of divorce. I don't think gay people.
You can come on anytime you want. I get so bored here sitting by myself, talking to myself. So anytime you want to come on, you let me know. Even if you want to come on for an hour, you are more than welcome. I got 4 hours to kill Monday through Friday. Get your ass on here.
Gay people getting married in any way, shape, or form changes a bond that you have with your wife. It's just called marriage. It's a human invented thing. If we decide that gay people can get married too, I just don't see how it damages anything. I don't think it tears down the definition of marriage in any way. It just opens up the possibility that people who are gay won't be discriminated against.
Yeah, I don't think that a gay couple existing directly impacts. There's a gay couple and wherever, and I'm with my wife in our house. Like obviously, right. There's not. But I'm not talking about on the individual level. I'm talking about on the societal level.
Right.
I would agree that divorce.
Bye, Cape Socialist. Thank you for stopping by. Good to see you. Really quick, I wanted to share because he's talking about, traditional family, man and woman, all that bullshit. But, sorry, I hit my pen. That was a bad idea. So, if you actually want to look into into the actual history of gay marriage, it says that the Romans appear to have been the first to perform same-sex marriages. At least 2 Roman emperors were in same-sex unions, and in fact, 13 out of the first 14 Roman emperors are held to have been bisexual or exclusively homosexual. So him saying that this is the nuclear family is what's set in stone and this is it and blah, blah, blah. No, absolutely fucking not. There is definite history of gay marriage before America decided to become independent and quote unquote think in their own way. Exactly. And it's not like traditional marriage has a very good track record. Speaking of track record, you all want to learn. This was another thing I found out. You know how when people get married, they have to have diamond rings, right? Especially rich people, the more prettier it is, the bigger it is, the more fancy smancy it is, the more that they say they're in love, how everybody wants a big ring and blah, blah, blah. This was I've known this for a while, but this was something that I have been always wanting to talk about to get people to realize. Daniel knows all about this. He doesn't have a diamond engaged or diamond ring either, because I think he understands this whole thing. So it says how an ad campaign invented the diamond engagement ring. Sorry. Every so often an article comes along that makes you thoroughly rethink a practice. Have you ever tried to sell a diamond was one of them. In 1982, Atlantic Story investigative journalist deconstructed what he termed the diamond invention, or the creation of the idea that diamonds are rare and valuable and are essential signs of esteem. Exactly. Yep. That's what this is right here. So most remarkably, De Beers manipulated not just supply, but demand. In 1938, amid the ravages of the Depression and the rumblings of war, Henry Oppenheimer, the De Beers founder's son, recruited the New York-based ad agency N.W. Iyer to burnish the image of diamonds in the United States, where the practice of giving diamond engagement rings had been unevenly gaining traction for years, but where the diamonds sold were increasingly small and low quality. So not only do these companies stop supply of diamond to increase the price of that, of these diamonds, but they did ads to make you think that this was, something to do. The whole right here in a diamond is forever. That's, how it got started. In the 1940s, it looks like. See, a diamond that's forever promises endless romance and companionship, but a forever diamond is also one that's not resold. From 1939 to 1979, De Beers wholesale diamond sales in the U.S. increased from 23 million to 2.1 billion. Over those 4 decades, the company's ad budget soared from $200,000 to $10 million a year. So it was an ad to create for people to buy diamonds. And now we think of this as like what we're supposed to do to get married. This is something needed to get married. And it's absolutely not. It's extremely invented. Exactly. They're just rocks. That's what Daniel did. Yep. Oh, that's what you said it. Exactly. Silicone. So Coca-Cola invented Santa. I believe Santa was an actual person in Switzerland, I believe, or Sweden. And he would bring shoes and stuff. He was an actual dude way back in the day. And so that's where that story, I believe, got started. Get played by De Beers. Oh, God. I don't know if it was a Jewish De Beers creation. I have no idea. Bernie Sanders was confronted 3 times by anti-war protesters. The video is titled Bernie Smears. I know. I saw it. I watched it the other day, and I cried, and now I am officially done with Bernie Sanders. Like, it's over. Done. Finished. No, I don't want to watch it again because I just did the other day and it made me cry. He literally said, "Who's paying you?" to that guy. I cannot fucking believe him. Like, what does he think? The Russians are paying him? You really fucking fell into that Democratic snake pit, didn't you? You stupid old man. Made me so mad. I've been done with him. I've not wanted to vote for him. I don't plan on ever voting for him before that. But that fucking hurt. Like, that really hurt when I saw that video, because even though I'm not voting for him or, trust in his politics or anything, I have this super big problem in my personality where I feel really bad for old people. And I empathize with them, and like seeing them upset and seeing them sad, it just kills me. So like, even though I didn't like him politically, I still wanted him to be my grandpa. You know, I wanted to go and trick or treat with him. I wanted to wake up in the morning and open presents with him. Stupid, you know, family stuff. Like I really felt like I could see him as like a grandfather figure. And no, I'm done. After that video the other day of him asking who's paying you, done. Like I've lost all empathy for you right now. Like him telling did he say that to Jose Vega, or did he say that to some other anti-war protester? Because I can't believe Bernie even said that. We should watch that video. It's really sad. Yeah, you haven't seen it? Where have you been? Hiding under a rock, Daniel? It's sad. I thought the De Beers fam owned and ran the ads back when they became a thing. That's what it's saying right here. So I don't know, probably. I got to go to work. Yep, I will be smoking some weeds. I got my pen today, so I'm good. At least we know a Bernie presidency wouldn't be that different than a Biden presidency. Politicians are all just actors. Exactly. Exactly. Yeah, I agree. Do we want to watch that Bernie video again? Because I really don't. I almost seriously started crying the other day. Like I had to hold back tears, and then I had to make some jokes so I wouldn't cry. Ben Norton talked about it. Did he really? Multipolarista, right? Yeah, I think that's his show. I saw the President Maduro and John Kerry, I believe, video. Let's see, lives. Is the debt crisis on the horizon? Lula's victory, NAFO troll, China plans. I'm going back to like 2 weeks now. Yeah, no, I don't want to put myself through it again. Yeah, exactly. The Republican politician who told the reporter and just, yeah, they're all doing that. Even AOC, these anti-war protesters, go follow Jose Vega on Twitter and just keep an eye on all the videos and stuff, because he's really starting an amazing anti-war strategy. So I mean, you're a history person. You understand, Daniel. Anybody in history that has gone and publicly stood out in public squares being anti-war has been arrested. You know, they're pretty much being, you know, they were completely demonetized in a way that they couldn't speak their truth, to where these wars are just gonna keep on happening. And it seems like Jose Vega is getting the right strategy with this, to where it seems like it could possibly make it work, because they're going to Democrats, Democratic politicians, Republicans too, because they did go to Mike Pompeo's speech as well and did an anti-war protest there. But they're doing it really smart, to where one person will stand up, start screaming anti-war stuff, that person will be taken out, and while they're being taken out, another one stands up, and rinse and repeat. That one gets taken out, another one. Now, I've only seen them get up to 3 people, but if Jose Vega can get more people to go in there and get to stand up, I think that there's a really intelligent strategy with that whole thing. I think that that could work. And not only that, but he is training these anti-war protesters to speak in a way that, to where these politicians and stuff can't say, oh, you're on one side of the party or the other. Because when they first started doing it, they were like, you know, you need to be like Tulsi, and Tulsi did this, but you're doing the opposite. And so they were like, oh, you're just a right winger, you're crazy and stuff. And so now he's gotten them to say, you know, like Obama did this, and, you know, and then Trump did this, to make it so that these politicians can see that these anti-war protesters are on no side. They're using examples from both sides to show how bad this Ukraine-Russia war is right now and how we should stop it. I think Jose Vega has a strategy that could work, that I've never seen really before, and is definitely different than what we've had to deal with and what we've had to do in the past, to keep us, to be able to speak about anti-war stuff. So I go check out Jose Vega on Twitter. He's amazing. He goes on Hard Lens Media a lot too. I think he was on there yesterday for their show. He's insane amazing. He's really, really good. What? Nick Branya is a run amok fanboy? Is he really? He's a hi, Jimmy Dore's Garage. Nice feet pics. Welcome. Jose is a Tulsi supporter. Are you sure that he is one still? Because it sounded yesterday when he was on Hard Lens Media that he was kind of being disappointed in what she's doing because she's starting to rally for Republicans, and it doesn't seem like Jose is very happy with that, which I was okay with her, with me leaving the Democrats, or with her leaving the Democrats. I was giving her the benefit of the doubt, like, all right, great, maybe you can start bringing in third party kind of stuff. I'm pretty sure you're probably going to be libertarian, but it's better than nothing, And now I'm seeing her do rallies and stuff for Republicans. It looks like this is what she's doing, but who cares if she's a Tulsi? Who cares who's a Tulsi supporter? Because she's just a regular voting citizen like us anyway, Yeah, she might have some power with speeches and shit, but she's a citizen like we are, a regular citizen. She can't really do too much. She doesn't have too much legislative power, so. The feet pics are appropriate based off of earlier conversation. I know. That's why I was like, I wonder if they were listening. Yeah, that's what I've been hearing. She endorsed a pro-war Republican, so yeah, it's so funny how she goes around and was saying, that just the Democrats alone were like this cabal of warmongering weirdos and shit. Like, are you really that close-minded that you're not seeing the Republicans are the same exact way? It's just the Republican mainstream media is pretending like they're anti-war now. Just now though, like Fox and stuff, they're kind of like semi-anti-war, but it's just for this war. If you were alive and like a grown-up or fully conscious of what was going on back in the mid-2000s, the Republicans were like, on some war machine hungry business. Like they were sucking the teat of that war machine back in the 2000s. So there's no difference. Hammer toe. He is his daddy too. Rodrigo or Rod. They should both be locked up. Brand jackers. I know. They took your thing. I know. That still sucks that happened. You guys go check out Jim Engel. He's official People's Party on Twitter and on Facebook as well. He is no relation to Movement for a People's Party or Nick Branya. I remember him back before Nick Branya got his stuff and made the Movement for a People's Party. He got really big because he was a clout chaser for a cool minute. Poor fucking Jim just got like kicked off to the side. Nobody even paid attention to him anymore because of what Nick did. So you guys go check him out. He's fucking awesome. Jim is cool. I think corn chip troll toes. Oh lordy, here we go. Yeah, I don't want to watch I don't want to be reminded about what Bernie did. It makes me sad. Let's finish watching this idiot. Marjorie Taylor Greene gets it. No, you don't want to know. You don't want to know. It's a foot fetish thing. Just leave it alone. Just don't. There's certain things in this world you just don't want to ask, okay? At all. There is some things you do want to ask, though. You guys all should Google nutscapes. Nutscapes. I'm sorry, and you're welcome. enjoy. I'll keep my innocence. Right.
Divorce, especially, this no-fault divorce, rampant divorce. I don't think it's as high as 50%. I know that's often quoted. I'm not sure where that comes from, but it is high. It's like, it's too high. And
Chris Rock has a great joke about that. He said those are just the people with the courage to get out. It's like, how many cowards stay?
But it's also true that the advocates for what we call now traditional marriage, which I just call marriage, but the advocates for traditional marriage put themselves at a disadvantage by especially in the churches, like allowing this rampant divorce to occur. And then you've already sort of given up on some marriage is supposed to be monogamous and permanent, as well as procreative. Well, you've given up monogamy and permanence, and so now it's not. That's two of the three legs gone.
Well, because like one of you was saying earlier, the whole monogamy part of it, it's not like marriage in history had a really good past. The reason why it was permanent is because a lot of these women were forced, not only just forced to be married for financial benefits for their family, but then they had to stay there. There was no such thing as divorce. And if they tried to get out, the husbands would beat the shit out of them. So he's really taken this history thing, saying that this is the set in stone and this is the way it's going to be, but minus looking at the historical facts about it and how negative it actually was. Us having the ability to have divorces now and it not being permanent is actually making a lot of people feel free for the first time in their life. So fuck him.
And so now this assault was waged on the procreative part of it. And it was difficult to withstand it because the institution had already been weakened. So I agree with you there. But my answer to that is to try to reinforce what marriage is, not to just give up on it entirely. And I still think you're left with this question of, like, if marriage is not what I'm saying it is, then why do we even need it? What's the point? I mean, you're saying it's a man-made institution.
Yes.
But you're also, like, the way that you're presenting it, it's a totally meaningless institution. So
no,
they don't need it at all.
No, it's not meaningless. It's because it means something to the people that get married.
So it's just a subjective, symbolic thing. I mean, what?
Yeah.
Yes.
So if you're
kind of what it is,
absolutely,
look, there's a massive responsibility when you're married and when you have children to keep your family together and you raise and keep everybody happy and healthy. And there's great reward to that.
Yeah.
But it doesn't always work out. It's people change. People are fucked up. It doesn't always work.
Yep.
And so I don't think it should be outlawed because 50% of the people fall apart. Just like I don't think it has any effect whatsoever on a straight couple if a gay couple decides that they want to make it official. And that's what it is to them. It gives them a feeling that they're accepted and appreciated and that they're not discriminated against because they happen to be homosexual.
So what you're articulating to me is the damage that's done by gay marriage to the institution of marriage.
But how is it done? How is that in any way damaged straight people?
Because we are making the institution meaningless.
But it's not meaningless.
Well,
it's very meaningful to the people who have it.
Because it's not an institution. Marriage should not be an institution. Are you fucking kidding me? Falling in love is not some black and white paper written contract that says this thing. Like, it's not. That's not how it is. Just like I was saying earlier, just because it is before doesn't mean it is now still. That's what evolution is about. Ghost star Jesus Christ. Get it.
Subjective.
I'm wondering how many people in here are being like not able to show their messages, and I'm not seeing it in StreamYard because YouTube has got to be going off with the trigger words right now. Who is this Neanderthal troglodyte talking to Rogan? This is Matt Walsh. He is the creator of that documentary, What is a Woman? Very conservative, very closed-minded. I think Joe Rogan handled him pretty well on this, so I figured we could watch this. And I pretty much I showed all of the work that I've done about the history of same-sex marriage, that it was actually done a lot in the Roman times, and a lot of the Roman leaders were bisexual or exclusively homosexual, and how even the institution of marriage was actually created, well, at least the use of diamond rings was created to get people to buy more diamonds in the early 1900s. And made it seem like it was worth and how the institution of marriage is still kind of like feeling like this is set in stone. This is what it is. This is what Matt Walsh is saying, at least. And it's not that at all. How can Rogan understand this point, but not understand the same logic of wanting to be acknowledged by society for trans people? I have no idea. I'll have to watch that part too. Ever since he went onto Spotify, I haven't been able to watch him as much. So yeah, I don't know what his theory is about trans people and being acknowledged in society. You would think that he's at least on the same level like he's doing here with Matt Walsh, about gay or same-sex marriage. So yeah. You were in a textbook, straight monogamous with children for 28 years before she passed away. I hear I'm like a unicorn. Oh God. Can I look up the YouTube video titled Uncontacted Tribe and Locals Meet for First Time? Let me look into that right now while I play this.
Symbolic, and it's about your own personal feelings.
Isn't it though?
Well, no, I would say that it's not.
Well, if it's not subjective and it's not symbolic,
it codifies and protects and gives a name to a thing that actually exists, which are man, woman couples creating people, creating babies,
but not always.
Right, but that's still the nature of the union. So,
but what are the percentage of people today that are married that don't have children? I bet it's pretty high amongst heterosexuals.
Probably.
Is there something wrong with that?
I think there is something wrong with that. I think there's something wrong with, getting married and saying, oh, we're not gonna have any kids at all.
But why is there something wrong with that? If someone's personal choice, why is it wrong that two people are like, I am deeply committed to work and I don't want to sacrifice any of my career and I don't want to ruin a kid because I'm constantly at the office, but that's where I get deep satisfaction and that's what I'm focused on. And the woman says, that's great because I don't want children either. I really am attached to my interests and my career and what I like to do. That's not damaging your relationship with your wife and your family. I certainly don't think of it as a threat to my marriage or my family.
Yeah, it is a personal choice.
Right, but shouldn't people be allowed to make those personal choices? Like, isn't that a fundamental aspect of what it means to be American, to have that freedom?
Well, right, yeah, but right now we're not talking about what people are allowed to do. I'm not saying
we're talking about marriage, gay marriage.
Okay, we were just discussing straight couples who choose not to have kids.
That's also a personal freedom issue, isn't it?
Yeah, and I'm not saying that straight couples should be legally required to have kids, but if you're asking me, do I think it's the right choice to just get married and choose not to have kids ever? I do not think that that's the right choice. It's their choice, but people can make choices that are wrong, and you can disagree.
How is it wrong if they have a fulfilling and wonderful life together with that choice? If their thing is that they just want to have a bond between the two of them, to just like take it to the next level, let everybody know, like, we are married. If I die, my money's going to go to Helen. And if Helen dies, I'm going to mourn her because she was my wife and now I'll be a widower. Like, to some people, that distinction gives them peace and security and makes them feel better about the relationship. They're both so committed that they've legally signed documents that say that they're bound by law and under the eyes of God or whatever you believe in.
Yeah. They're able to make that choice, but I think you're still rejecting one of the purposes of marriage. And in the scenario that you just outlined, you're also deciding to live a really self-centered life. You're saying,
what if you're not? What if your work is very charitable? What if it benefits humanity in a deep way? What if you spend a lot of time doing, healthcare work and social work, and you're deeply committed to your community? It's not selfish at all. You're just dedicating your time to something other than raising new human beings. You're dedicating your life to enhancing other human beings that are around you.
That's a hypothetical.
It is a hypothetical, right, so is yours, right?
Yeah, but I think most of the people that choose, like, we're not going to have kids, and the rate of those rates are declining, and the age when people first have kids is also going up, and all of that.
Yeah.
And most of the people that are making these choices, I don't think it's because they're involved in charity work. I do think that it is more the scenario you outlined in the first time around, which is just like, well, this is what I'm doing. I have my job. I don't want to give it up.
Yeah. But don't you think that people should have the freedom to live their life in that way? I think human beings vary widely in a huge way. And I think there's some human beings that find a very fulfilling life just reading books and traveling and experiencing different things and seeing art and doing whatever the fuck they want to do. And they don't necessarily have to have kids to live a fulfilling life that way. And if they choose to do that with someone who they have a loving bond with and who they get married to, I don't think it's a bad thing that they don't want to have kids.
Well, I guess we have to, maybe we're running into a question of, now you get to the real fundamental question.
I think it's a fundamental freedom thing.
Yeah, we're not disagreeing, I guess, on the freedom aspect of it, because again, I'm not saying that you should be required to have kids.
Or you're imposing your sensibilities and what you think is important in life to other people. But everybody has a different idea of what's important in life without hurting anyone. The thing is, like, what I'm saying is these people that are married, that don't have children, they're not harming anyone. They're not harming these unborn children that they never have. They're not harming anyone. And it doesn't affect your relationship with your family and your marriage at all.
Yeah, but I'm not imposing myself on them or harming them by answering a question about how I feel about their choices.
Right, but nor are gay people doing that to you.
I think the harm comes from, on a societal level, when we start breaking down these basic central institutions, like the institution of the family and of marriage. That's where the harm comes from. And the more that people believe...
Is he fucking tripping? I can't believe he I didn't watch the end of this. So I did not know he said that at the end. But how is that harmful? If anything, it's the straight people imposing their beliefs onto everyone is what's harmful to people, because gay people and the LGBTQ plus people couldn't even get married for the longest fucking time because of the judgment of the straight people. So yeah, exactly, Ed. He wants to be the marriage definer. Yep. Exactly. So many same-sex spouses had to die alone and never got to say goodbye because their secret spouse wasn't allowed in the hospital room. Right. My aunts had to hide the fact that they were together. I think still to this day, probably. I think it's a little bit more open now, but they had to tell, because they worked at an Air Force base, a military base, and had been working there since before I was born, and had to tell everybody there that they were roommates, even though they have been married since, or been together since before I was even born. So they had to lie on a military base and say that they were roommates, or else they would lose their job and couldn't work there anymore. Like, that's judgment right there, So exactly. Where's the harm again? I think it's more of the straight people harming everybody else that wants to just be in love and be together. So marriages should have expiration renew dates. I bet they would work harder to keep their shit together. State governments would make more money too. Oh no. What century is this? Yeah, exactly. Thank you. In Canada, we just weren't allowing anyone to visit their dying loved ones during. Yeah, same. There are a lot of people I knew that passed away in the hospital by themselves. So, right? What? Term limits on marriage? Oh, shit. That's great. That is absolutely amazing. Yeah, I got that up right now. So we can watch that if you would like to. You just got to tell me which one it is, because there's a couple. And this is actually really good. We can watch this and see, with these uncontacted tribes meeting local people, maybe these local people are learning about what basic animal instincts actually really is about, instead of what Matt Walsh is saying what our human basic instincts should be. Here's where we can actually see the video of real human basic instincts in full force right here, right in front of everyone's face. So you like the idea of marriage term limits? Yeah, exactly. He belongs in an institution. Exactly. Titled. Okay. So like this one right here. Uncontacted tribes and locals meet for the first time. I put that in the search engine, and these are what came up. And this one looks like it's the one that is what's titled what you said, but this one's only like 3.5 minutes. This one is 14 minutes. These ones are almost an hour. Okay, so it is that one. Yay, you're free. Welcome back. Okay, we will play the uncontacted tribe and locals meet for the first time. I'm going to start playing this and run to the bathroom really quick and make myself a cup of coffee. Give me like 2 minutes. And I will open this up. There you go.
Morelis arrives at Simpatia, home to a large tribal community who joined the outside world over a century ago.
E saíram bem ali, 4. Só 4, rapazes. Foi bem, só que o rio agora tá cheio. Aqui era uma praia, os índios saíram ali, ó. O rio tava seco, aqui fica uma praia, você viu como é rasinho aí? Lá eles saíram na beira, ficaram falando, não sei o quê. Aí...
The men were speaking a language which relates to that of another local tribe. But that day, people barely understood each other. Their words have now been fully translated, and they reveal the group were fleeing something terrible.
Peixe. Aqui. A gente protege. Aqui. Nós outros, nós, para. Não, eles vivem de outra forma, né? Eles são, sei lá, o que nós já fomos. A humanidade hoje, nessa globalização, essa maluquice toda, de repente tem um cara que mora aí no mato.
These first hours of contact were really tense, with the anthropologists constantly saying no. The day turned into an intricate dance of understanding and misunderstanding, particularly when Morelis and his colleagues attempted to sing back to them. In the end, 35 men and women emerged from isolation following the encounter filmed that day on the beach.
Oh, that's interesting. I feel like I missed like the whole first part, but Four young men. You're right. Yeah, they can't sing. LOL. That shit's so funny. Yeah, it looks like all four of these guys are together. Same sex. Relationships in even the oldest, most basic animalistic lifestyle. He's breathing fire because he's got a cigarette. Oh, I love it. That is so crazy. Probably just friends. Oh, okay. Come on, Burton. Just chill. Just chill, sir. I know you want attention. Poor baby. That was really cool. Oh, okay. What are you doing? Okay. You're good, kitty. Yeah, no, that's way, way cool. All right, what do we got next? I've got Kitty, don't fall. You're good. Don't fall. I have that the TYT versus Matt Gaetz thing. I think that'll be pretty funny to watch. It's so weird to watch TYT again because I haven't watched them in so long that they're all just like looking like they're getting older and older. Yeah, Burton's a little pain in the ass right now. He's just on my shoulder back here. What's up, dude? Burton. What's up? What are you doing? Oh, he's eating his tail. Oh, he's licking his tail. He's crazy. TYT. Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm going to do right now is the TYT versus Matt Gaetz. Lots of Matts today. We got Matt Walsh. Now we've got Matt Gaetz.
Right now, Representative Matt Gaetz is winning by 21, although the race
Why
has not
are you
been called
playing?
yet.
Stop playing. Jesus Christ. This thing is nuts. Used to be a TYT member back in the day. Oh, yeah, I don't pay for news. Hey. Burton. He's trying to eat me. Come on, Burton. You're going to fall, dude. Oh my gosh. Dude, I can't. I just can't. You're going to fall. You're going to fall. Ugh. Weirdo. Ah! Are you all right? Are you sure? There you go. Get off of me. All right. I think my cat's good now. Okay, let's watch this.
And Matt Gaetz joins us now. Welcome, Matt.
Oh, thanks for having me, Cenk. I think ABC News and CNN have both called my race. Couldn't have been too easy for them, but sure glad to see the voters come out for me.
All right. So, Representative Gaetz, if the Republicans win the House tonight, what is your strategy going forward? What will you emphasize in the next term?
I think it's all the eyes. I think it's inflation, immigration, and investigations. And we have a mandate now to try to limit spending. I think also people are very concerned about what's happening on the border. And when it comes to the weaponization of this government against our people, folks want to see the FBI, the Department of Justice, called to heel and called to account. That used to be something that liberals actually stood for, civil liberties and stopping the excesses of the politicization of investigations. And now the Republicans that will be leading the House Judiciary Committee will.
Okay, less bones, really quick. All right, I'm gonna take a quick break to help you out with that. Make sure you have an axe. Follow the broken up wires that they're on into the tunnel and go very, 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 very slow. Have an axe in one hand and your torch in the other hand and just start fucking killing them with your axe. You'll be fine. They'll take like half of your health by the time you're done, but it'll be done. You'll be able to fix that laser and that's over. I think there's probably about 10 of those motherfuckers. And the further you get into the tunnel, speaking of which, another scary thing I found in that game too. Once you get further into that tunnel, you'll end up killing them all. You'll get to a dead end where there's like rocks, like a wall of rocks. Bring out your hammer thing, break down those rocks, but don't go any further in there because I went a little further in there and there's bugs that are crawling and digging under the ground. And I don't know what they are. So I just backtracked and got myself out of there and figured once I level up, I might go back in there. So just bring out your pickaxe or your axe and just beat the shit out of them in that, like follow the wires down into that little tunnel cave thing that they're in. You're going to lose some health, but they're easy. They're like one hitters if you get close enough. So you got this. Exactly. You got this, Les Bones. Okay, good. Yeah, let me know how you do. It's pretty goddamn easy right there. It feels like it's hard, but it's not too hard. So Matt Gaetz looks like a Halloween costume. Absolutely fucking does. Termites, he's playing a game called Grounded that we're playing together. We're going to be playing together. He just has to catch up to where I'm at in the game. And so he's on a part that I literally just finished yesterday. So I did it when they were doing their journalism drive. Oh, okay, to hire independent journalists. Okay. Plus there was a bonus Jimmy Dore show. Yep, they raised a ton of money and fired all their journalists shortly after. Absolutely did. Crazy. You started going further in there and bailed when I heard crawling noises. Yeah, they were like, I saw some tunneling under the ground in that game. And then somebody in the thing said, looks like there's something in the ground that's tunneling. And I was like, oh no, I don't want anything to do with this. I'm not going further into this cave or I'm going to die. Going past that wall of rocks was already enough for me. I already felt like I was going somewhere I shouldn't be going when I did that. So are these termites real? Because it sounds like awful in real life advice. Right? I'm like, just follow the wire down and bring out your axe and your torch and just beat the shit out of them with your axe. If this was real life, that would be horrible advice. And just like, oh, you got bugs in your house? Torch it. Torch it. They own the house now. Just torch the fucking thing. All right, I want to get back to this pettiness because I love this shit. I don't like drama in my own life, but I do like to watch it from the outside on other people, especially like seeing like a couple of millionaires going at it like fucking punk kids and shit. This is great. You still have to explore and find that wire because you just died by misadventure. What did you do? How did you die by misadventure? Are you going out and exploring? You're right. It's only good advice if your house is full of spiders. Mine's not because I keep killing them. Just like I killed the one right here. Burton! Hold on really quick. This little fucker. Why? Give me my shoe. Hey. That's mine. Oh my God, he's got my slippers. You little fucker. Those are mine. Leave him alone. It's not a toy. Oh, put it down. He walks around with stuff like he's a fucking dog in his mouth. He's crazy. Burton, give me my shoe back. Yeah, exactly. My cat has a foot fetish. This little fuck. Hey, come here. Come here. Put it back in your mouth. Show the audience what you're doing. Look at you. can put it back in your mouth. Get it. You gonna get it? You want to get it? You don't want it now that I've got it, huh? You're like, nah, I'm cool now, mama. I got love. I need love. Huh? I need love. Definitely has a foot fetish. Your cat carries things around, but at least it's his toys. Yeah, I know. I've got toys for him to run around with, but he really likes my slipper, apparently. That's the first time I've seen him run around with a slipper. He normally runs around with toys. This is a first. No! Leave it alone, sir. There he goes with it again. Yo. Give me my shoe. What a jerk. Yeah, kitty. Okay, wait. Les Bones needs help. Okay. You still have to explore and find that wire because you just died by misadventure. Okay. No, you're good. You're good. Interrupt. Misadventure. You're going. Oh, why would you go towards the house? I heard there's a lot of stuff. Well, scary stuff. Or I got killed by the termites. Have you gotten to the wires yet of the laser? Sorry. Yeah, by misadventure. You don't know what it means. I don't know what that means either in the game. Are you making sure that your food and water is filled up, that you have like enough to eat, enough to drink? You're like not dying of thirst or anything like that? Because you do have to keep that up. I would go towards the lasers. So you look when you're on that machine thing that has the 3 laser beams going out, find the one that's flashing on and off and follow that laser beam towards where it's coming from. And it's going to take you to this huge tripod. And at the bottom of the tripod, on the ground, there's wire. There's a wire, like a big wire. And you'll see like chunks of the rubber of the outside of the wire taken off and the metal of the inside of it showing, like the cord. And you're going to walk on that and follow it down. And you're going to see different termites eating it, like eating the cord. And you're going to kill those. And then other ones are going to come in from the cave and you're going to kill those as well. So, but follow that flashing on and off laser beam to the tripod. Oh, you just found the tent, the igloo thing? Oh, you're at the very beginning. Okay. So the little igloo thing, right, where you can analyze stuff in the game? Because you're going to, once you do that, it's going to take you over to this, like, giant, to you, obviously, it's a huge, like, machine that you can go inside and, you know, it's all, like, the mechanics and, you know, circuit boards and stuff. And that's where you're going to start your laser adventure. Okay, cool. All right. Back to the pettiness. Okay, the igloo thing. All right. Yeah, once you get past there to the next part, that's where the laser is. And then that's where you're going to figure that out. I think all you have to do with the laser thing to start it is go over to the activate button and push the activate button. And then that's going to show you the broken laser. And then that's going to take you over to the cord. After that is where I started exploring and got scared. So be careful.
Have that as our central focus.
So inflation being high, you mentioned it first. Obviously, wages is a very large issue. So do you think that we should raise the minimum wage so that the American people's salaries can keep up with the rising costs of all the goods that they're having to deal with?
So the time when we saw rising wages was really during the Trump presidency. I don't believe that government mandated minimum wages are actually the way to increase real wages. Actually, a lot of economists say that raising the minimum wage can be inflationary. Our strategy to tackle inflation will focus on cutting government spending, not having a regime that pays people not to work. I think able-bodied childless adults should be subject to work requirements. Previously, when Republican states have tried to do that, Democrat administrations haven't allowed them to, haven't issued appropriate waivers. And so if we can legislate work requirements into government funding bills, I think that'll be a good counter pressure on inflation.
All right, so raising wages, not what you're planning to do to counter inflation. Got it. Anna.
No, we raise wages. I just don't think the way to raise wages is a government mandated minimum wage increase.
So how would wages increase out of the kindness of corporations' hearts who have a fiduciary?
Like, I can't stand her, but she does make a good point. Like, if I was to ask him a follow-up question to that, I would practically say the same thing. Like, if you don't think a mandated minimum wage is how it's going to, you know, help benefit society, then how else do you expect minimum wage or any kind of wages to go up to help benefit society? So, yeah, I agree with
you. Responsibility to their shareholders and keep doing corporate stock buybacks and dividends for their shareholders?
No fan of big corporations. I think the biggest threat to our liberty is big government. The second biggest threat, big corporations, and probably the third would be homeowners associations. But I do think that during the Trump era, we saw wages rise as a consequence of capital investment and the onshoring of cash that was largely pushed offshore to preserve intellectual property assets and revenue streams. And if we allowed more of that capital to come back into our country again, I think we would do a lot to see the investment in the workforce. Look, if you go around any district, Republican or Democrat right now, the number one issue for a lot of small businesses is just how to get people to show up to work. And when you have a government that pays able-bodied people not to work, it really cuts against the ambitions and interests and dreams of a lot of the small businesses that are the backbone of our country.
Okay, can you please,
where are they paying people not to work? This is pretty much what she's about to ask.
Please be specific about what you're referring to when you say a government that pays people not to work, and be specific in regard to numbers. How much money are Americans allegedly getting paid by the government to sit home and not work?
Well, during the pandemic era, people got checks, and
when there were shutdowns,
which she didn't even add. Are you serious? $2,000, not even $2,000 for 2 fucking years of sitting at home. $2,000, that's like poverty wages. That's like third world country annual poverty wages. Are you fucking kidding me? This man really thinks that $2,000 in 2 years is what created this inflation that we have now, and that's a problem, and that's what's paying people to stay home. Are you fucking kidding me? And plus, it was during a pandemic, so we were stuck at home anyway. This Matt Gaetz is ridiculous. Like, before it gets into the cool, funny, petty stuff, this shit pissed me off super bad. I can't believe he would even say something like that. Like, barely even giving the fucking people the crumbs while he's over here making millions, and all of his buddies were making millions, and rich people were stealing PPP loans, and like Los Angeles County Sheriff's Department was stealing a bunch of PPP loans that regular people could have gotten. They got like 80-something% of the PPP loans. So fuck him. Fuck him.
When companies were shut down, yes.
That was inflationary. And I also think that when you provide,
and then he says it's inflationary. The $2,000 that we all got, almost $2,000 that we all got for the 2 years, that's inflationary. But corporate greed, supply chain problems, outsourcing labor, like none of that's inflationary though. You know, greed, the Fed raising interest rates and shit, like none of that. No, none of that. It's the people. It's the people's fault. It's all of our fault. But those motherfuckers vote like we vote for these guys. Like, he's literally putting it on his people, and his people vote for him. Ugh.
Benefits to able-bodied childless adults, like Medicaid, like childcare, like transportation, like cell phones. Then you create in the economy a bubble, and when that bubble bursts, a lot of working-class people, folks that liberals actually used to stand up for, those folks get crushed and hammered when they go to the grocery store, when they go to the gas station. I also think Republicans are going to have a pretty big energy bill. Now, I'm not a drill everywhere, drill anywhere kind of guy. I think we've got to be smart and strategic, but certainly we want to see the Keystone Pipeline reopen. We want to see more of the fracking and shale development in the interior of the country. And I think that just reducing energy prices will do a great deal to lower inflation, because you see those energy prices baked in at every layer of the supply chain.
Well, I think it's a common myth that's repeated over and over again by both the press and the Republican Party. We are the top oil and gas producer in the world. We're also the top exporter of oil and gas because our natural resources are completely owned by private corporations who get to sell those natural resources to the highest bidder. So if you're actually genuinely concerned about keeping gas prices low at the pump, we could nationalize our oil and gas. Would you be willing to do that?
I hate agreeing with her, but she could be right on that whole thing. It's absolutely true. You get unfettered capitalism. No matter what you produce in this country, they're going to want to export it and sell it because it's capitalism. It's what you do. If we had socialism, we would be helping out our own country. But because private organizations own the means and stuff, or own the gas, then, you know, they're going to export it and try to make some money off of it. And how, you know, how does he think that he's going to lower the gas prices and make things easier for Americans when it comes to energy if he won't even acknowledge that existence? So, or one of them. Yeah. There's probably a list. I can Google it.
No, I don't know that the Venezuela energy model is one that the American people are voting for.
Okay, so you want to allow corporations to export oil and gas to the highest bidders internationally.
I think we should repeal the Jones Act because you're right, there is
So
corruption.
I just Googled it, and the 3 top oil producers who produce roughly 43% of the world's oil production is the US, Saudi Arabia, and Russia. Together, these 3 combined countries produce more oil than the rest of the top 10 combined, is what this is saying. Yeah, US is the top. At least in 2021, last year, we were the top. It's showing that we produced over 11 million barrels. Russia did 10 million. Saudi Arabia at OPEC did 9 million just last year. Yeah, I don't see the next one. I'm looking in Wikipedia. Yeah, you're right. Yep. US, Russia, Saudi Arabia, and Canada are the top 4. Yes, absolutely. Yeah, as long as capitalism exists, they will always try to price gouge. Absolutely. Because it's all about making money, not about helping anyone.
As a consequence of the Jones Act, we're not able to actually get that energy to the places that we need it so that there's broad distribution and lower prices. So actually, there's a deregulation answer that I think would unlock lower prices for the American people, given what we currently produce.
I wanted to just quickly, Cenk, one follow-up, and then I'll let you take over. The point that you made about social services like Medicaid, which provides health care to literally the most impoverished people in the country, how exactly do you claim that that leads to inflation? I mean, I can explain how.
You know, he's going to bring that up actually in here. And I thank you for bringing that up and saying that, Ed, because I can't click on it. I can't get it from there. But I do want to look up the Jones Act because Matt Gaetz brings this up right when she asked this question. Or right afterwards. Jones Act is a 1920 law that limits how cargo is transported by sea. It requires any cargo shipped between U.S. ports to be carried by U.S. ships with American crews, originally intended as a measure to support the strategically important shipping industry, now considered a classic example of protectionism. The cons I see, it causes an increase in cost for local business, especially exporters, and actually hurts the American shipping industry. And the pros of it are provide stability to the U.S. maritime industry and helps to sustain 650,000 American jobs. Which results in $150 billion economic benefit each year. Economic benefit to the corporate owners and the investors. Jones Act advances our national. Oh God, here we go. Advances our national security. They always have to use that national security by helping maintain a vibrant domestic shipbuilding industry and maritime workforce. For the con, it holds back local economies in states like Hawaii, Alaska, like Puerto Rico, and Guam. Interesting. Yeah, Matt Gaetz is going to bring up the
how the Federal Reserve engaging in quantitative easing, literally printing money and giving it to banks and corporations, who then turned around and invested in their own stocks and did dividends.
Right, too. QE is definitely something that should not be going on as well, because they just give it to their, like she's saying, for stock buybacks. So
and all that definitely led to asset bubbles. Private equity firms buying up entire neighborhoods of single family homes based on the money that was given to them by the Federal Reserve. That led to inflation in the housing market. I want you to explain exactly how Medicaid leads to inflation.
Well, first of all, I agree with you regarding those corporate excesses. I am one of the people on Thomas Massey's bill to audit the Fed for the very reasons you laid out. I think the Fed has become a distribution system for corporate welfare, and that cuts against working class Americans. But when you have people who aren't working, but who are still able to get child care, health care, not as a consequence of being poor or sick or infirm or elderly, but just because of the Medicaid expansion that was ushered in through Obamacare, I think that is inflationary, because then people don't have to go out and spend cash and have a real economic exchange for the services that they're receiving, often as a result of government largesse.
So what I've heard so far is that giving people child care, health care, and higher wages is leading to inflation, and you guys are going to try to tackle inflation. So that what I'm hearing from you is lower wages, less childcare, less healthcare. That sounds perfectly Republican.
Things. Jake, it's not just the government that can do these things. There are private sector solutions as well. If people make more money, if the economy is growing at a faster rate, like it did under President Trump, then I do think we would be able to achieve those objectives. But government spending is inflationary. That is the central covenant of this election that we're going through, that Republicans are very likely to win across the country. People want to see less government spending. Now, I don't think we ought to cut government spending for disabled people like my mother, or seniors. I don't want to touch Social Security or Medicare, but specifically with the Obamacare Medicaid expansion, you have able-bodied people who could go to work, but who choose not to, and I don't think we should provide those things for them.
Right. So we clearly have a different point of view. We see corporations with record profits continuing to drive prices up. There's exit polling showing that 83% of the voters wanted the government to do something about that. Instead, they have let those corporations gouge us over and over again as Republicans protected them. But to be fair, so did Biden. So now I want to move on to one of the things that we're most concerned about, which is democracy.
Hold on. I crossed the aisle and joined with Democrat David Cicilline to actually utilize antitrust tools to go after the very type of corporate greed that you're talking about. I'm actually hoping to persuade more people in this incoming Republican majority that the way to govern is not to just give the lobby corps the power. I'm the only Republican in Congress who doesn't take any money from any lobbyists or any PACs, full stop. And so I actually think there could be common ground with Democrats. So, and if we can get the Biden Justice Department to actually be serious about the enforcement of antitrust laws, I actually think we could do a lot to curb that corporate greed.
So look, we're a fair show. So it's obvious that we disagree with you on a lot of things, and we got more coming up in a second. But it is true that you don't take that corporate PAC money, and like the corporate people on the left that don't take the corporate PAC money.
Take any PAC money, not just corporate PAC money, no ideological PAC money, no leadership PAC money, and I stand alone as a Republican on that front.
That's right. And that's what allows you to criticize big business, whereas almost all of your colleagues serve big business, by the way, including Rick Scott, who has promised to cut Social Security and Medicare in the same state of Florida. Now, we're worried about democracy, Matt. And in 2020, Trump clearly lost the election. He then did 60 court cases, he and his allies, and he could not present one piece of evidence, and he still insisted on lying about how he had won the election. So can you just be honest for once and say that Donald Trump definitely lost the 2020 election?
Here we go about the whole election losing bullshit.
And by the way, I don't think democracy's in any jeopardy. We've had a record turnout for a midterm election today, and that seems to show that a democracy in our country is alive, well, and it's certainly something that I support wholeheartedly.
Hold on, guys. I have breaking news while we're talking to Matt Gaetz. New York Times has just called your race. Matt Gaetz has won in his district.
Here comes the fun part. Exactly. It is a clown show. I'm glad I don't watch these motherfuckers anymore. This is ridiculous.
Florida right now as we speak to him. And I did notice, though, Representative Gaetz, that you evaded the question. You said that Biden is president. You didn't say Biden won the election. He obviously did, and you know it. But I'll move on. Anna.
No, hold on. I got a follow-up question to something you said. You just made a vague statement about some irregularities. There are some irregularities, and you were one of the individuals who pushed the lie that the election was stolen from Trump. So be specific. What are the so-called irregularities? Because the Trump camp failed to provide a shred of evidence indicating that there was widespread voter fraud. Yet you and other Trump allies continued repeating that the election was stolen from him. So be specific. What exactly are you referring to?
I'm really concerned about some of these urban areas that operate under an entirely different system than the rest of their states. For example, in Wayne County, Michigan, the mechanism by which ballots are assembled is totally different than in the other parts of the state. And I don't think that volume alone justifies that. I also think that in Pennsylvania, a major irregularity was the change in the way that ballots were mailed out. In time after time, you saw secretaries of state take unilateral action to go and engage in this broad distribution of ballots. I think that is ripe for fraud, and I don't think that it was constitutional. Now, Cheng made an important point about the 60.
The courts weighed in on that, though, right?
Yeah, I want to get to that because almost all of those cases, not all, but almost all of those cases were resolved in the absence of an evidentiary hearing. So it's not exactly fair to say that we lost because we didn't have sufficient evidence. So no, a lot of them were decided on jurisdictional grounds and on the sufficiency of the pleading.
I can't even see her eyelashes. I don't want to appear in shame either, but that's her eyeliner. She's not even showing that she has or that she's using even mascara. That's all eyeliner right there.
Not based.
Jesus Christ, dude. Oh, that was good. Made me choke. Yeah, the hair bun controls her.
On an actual evidentiary hearing where both sides got to put information before the court. So it's a little, I think, misleading to suggest that 60 hearings around the country where evidence was presented.
Matt. Some were decided on jurisdictional grounds, but the majority were decided on the merits. And every judge, including every Republican judge, including every Trump-appointed judge, said, you have not presented any evidence, including the evidence that you were just talking about now. When in court, there was none, zero. And by the way, Matt, you can tell from your answers, you don't believe it either. It's super obvious you don't believe it.
But yeah, I can tell by your questions, you guys still have no message, because instead of talking about how we're going to actually move the country forward, you guys are still obsessed about the 2020
No,
election.
Matt, I'm not a regular Democrat. I don't care about their messaging. What I care about is if your friend Donald Trump wins in 2024, we might never have another election because he's an obvious pathological.
Okay. That's some hyperbolic ass shit from Cenk right there. Come the fuck on. Now you're going to make me side with fucking Chomo Matt Gaetz because you're a fucking weirdo and you can't even tell the truth. If Donald Trump wins in 2024, it is not going to turn into a dictatorship or an authoritarian. We are already a fucking democracy. Like, this shit's not good. They're not going to let that happen. I'm sorry, but it's not. It's not. If anything, we're just going to fall like fucking Rome. That's the way we're going. So gross. The way that they talk about like this absolutism is like as if America's dead if Trump wins.
The liar doesn't believe in democracy, didn't want to leave even though he lost the election, and you know it.
Jake, the last time you were on the ballot, you got 4% of the vote. So for you,
what does that have to do with anything that we're talking about right now?
Okay, Matt, if we're going in that direction, listen, you had sex with a 17-year-old, according to allegations.
There it is. It's starting to get juicy. So yeah, Cenk did lose. He actually lost around my hometown, literally the place that I've been talking about for like the last week. I did a video about how they treat the homeless out there because Vice did a whole episode on Lancaster and how the homeless is treated. Aaron Carter recently passed away out there. Like, I've been talking about my hometown this whole fucking week, and that's where Cenk ran. And I was telling people in his air, like that was in his thing, you know, in his campaign, like he needs to go out to my hometown, like he needs to stay away from the rich mountainy areas, and he needs to go down to the high desert, and he needs to talk to those people, because that's where your majority of your people are going to be voting, because that's city instead of the mountain living. You know, the mountain living area, they're just all rich. They just want the same thing over and over. It's the city where you need to pay attention to. He never listened to me. He went out there a couple of times, but I don't think anybody really wanted him anyway, because he was a carpetbagger. He didn't even live in that area. He lived outside of that area. So I don't even think that he had a chance anyway to win. But yeah, no, he lost super, super, super bad. Definitely, yeah, 4% of the vote is a great burn. But then him going off on him too, because he asked Trump, and he got a pardon for the allegations of him doing stuff with a minor. Plus, there's also that I don't know if you guys know, but he has like an adopted son who's like, I think he's like 18 or 19 now, but he adopted him when he was younger, and said that like this kid's parents, it was in another country, like the Philippines or something. I don't know. But he brought him back from that country and was like, this is my son now. The parents are dead. I got to, you know, I'm taking care of him. Come to find out, actually, I believe that this kid's mom is still alive. And I don't think she appreciates what he's doing with this kid. But yeah, that's at least something I've heard about Matt Gaetz. He definitely loves him some youngins, which is really fucking gross. Hey, you two. Hey, I know you boys want to play, but not right now, please. Jesus, these cats. Shank tried to discourage a union from forming at TYT. Oh, I bet. Because, I mean, even though, you know, he pretends like he's progressive. Oh, God, my fucking cats, man. Even though he pretends like he's progressive and that he's, you know, blue wave and all this stuff, he still is technically an older Republican. So, and they're not really for unions nowadays, so they like the right to work. If you unleash the potential energy of that bun, you could power a decent-sized city, a nuclear bun. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that Matt Gaetz was on Epstein Island. I'm pretty fucking sure. I know, these cats are nuts. They're way crazy. And it sucks because I have like a rocking chair, so Burton loves jumping on that rocking chair and making it rock super hard. He loves it. He thinks it's a ride. If you take the rubber band off it, her face flies across the room. It's like the only thing that's holding her face from like flopping over forward. It's like holding her whole face back. Oh, shit's good. Okay.
And you asked for a pardon. Hold on. You asked for a pardon. You asked for a pardon. Why did you ask for the pardon?
Yeah, why did you ask Trump for a pardon if you didn't break any laws?
I've been overwhelmingly re-elected. You guys are in some sort of weird struggle session there, and I'm just glad, even though the internet hated you having me on, Jake, you're getting to see what a congressional victory party looks like, and that's something that might be a novel experience.
Why did you ask for a pardon for having sex with a 17-year-old?
Something that even happened. You're like reading into an anonymous internet conspiracy. And it's really sad because in my district, the voters saw through that. In my state, we're overwhelmed.
Did you ask for the pardon?
That has all been debunked. I've addressed it. President Trump has addressed it. And by the way, you should look at your own comments about women that caused Bernie Sanders to unendorse you. Imagine being so aligned with Bernie Sanders that he would endorse you, but he has to pull his endorsement because the things that you said were so
unsafe. Well, Matt, see, some people grow up and they change.
Oh my God, he said it. The back in the day, Shank even himself wrote like some kind of op-ed about how women suck because they don't want to do it with him, and how he's like this super macho man and he deserves women, and very incel of him. And then she says people grow up. Okay. Like didn't she go after, I mean, even though it, you know, how Jimmy Dore kind of handled it afterwards was a little bit cringy to me, but if she believes that and was, you know, even on the playing fields on all of those, then she wouldn't have gone after Jimmy Dore about something that he did once a long time ago, because she believes that everybody grows up. So she's only defending Cenk about this whole situation because she's friends with him. Like, if her and Cenk were to end up not being friends, she would have been on Matt Gaetz' side, just like what she did with Jimmy Dore. So I fuck her. Yeah, Cenk wrote some nasty, dirty fucking things about women. Very incel of him, very narcissistic of him. And Matt Gaetz is fucking right. Not like you, but it's like the pot, the pot calling the kettle, or the kettle calling the pot black, the pot calling the kettle black. It literally, the only reason why Matt Gaetz understands and knows what Cenk is doing is because Matt Gaetz feels the same way, except for about little boys. So yeah, it's gross. Exactly. Let's get some popcorn. Nikki, good to see you. I hope you're having a good day. Anna tried to yeah, exactly. She tried to blackmail him. If she would have been consistent, like she is right here about people grow up, then she wouldn't have done this to Jimmy. She would have said, oh, well, he did it a long time ago, so maybe he's grown up. But no, she tried to blackmail him with it. Yeah, exactly. TYT used to post nude photos of celebrities. Yeah, I know, on their website without consent. Yep. I remember Jimmy talking about that. And that's very true. Very, very, very true. If done today, TYT would be facing felony charges. Exactly. Yeah. Exactly. They're just trash talking each other. They're both losers. That's right. All right, let's finish watching it. It looks like there's only like a minute left.
Others send their colleagues in Congress nude photos of women that they've slept with today, and are hated by members of their own party, which there are numerous reports about that regarding you. But I appreciate you coming on to answer our questions.
People who told those lies
Did
are
your
going to
father
the
by any chance get involved?
They were not lies, Maddie. You know it.
Dude, it's no wonder you guys don't have the trust of the voters, because you guys sit here and just spew this nonsense that isn't relevant to people's lives. We're going to focus on inflation. We're going to focus on the border. We're going to focus on investigations. And the result is we're going to win in 2024. Democracy will be fine, and you guys will still be crying on the young turf.
Did you never answered the question. Did you sleep with a 17?
Absolutely not. That has been totally debunked. And by the way, more women have made accusations against Joe Biden than have made accusations against me.
We've talked about them.
You should be really proud of that.
He ain't lying. He ain't lying.
Well, my number is 0. You can't even keep Bernie Sanders' endorsement, and Joe Biden doesn't exactly have a clean record himself. So we're pretty happy here in the Sunshine State. One Miami-Dade County, one my district. Looks like the House and Senate will flip, and eager to get to Washington to get to work.
Yeah, it's literally 3 people who approve of pedophilia are arguing with each other. It's really fucking gross. It's really gross. Now that I'm like looking at it, I'm like, yeah. I mean, y'all would know because y'all like support that shit anyway. So gross. Our fucking political system is infested with disgusting pedophiles. So nasty. Exactly. I'm not a fan, but Matt Gaetz is pretty fucking good with that shit talking. Exactly. Did you drink the muddy water? Don't do that. You're going to hurt yourself. If you go the opposite way of where the laser starts at that machine, go the opposite way and go wander around, you'll find a juice cup at the end of at the tip of the straw on the juice cup on the ground. Once a day, you will get some juice. Or look up and you'll see water droplets on blades of grass. And then you can shake it or hit it with your hammer or something, and the blade of grass will drop the water and you can clean it. Don't drink the bad water. It takes off like half of your health when you drink it. It's bad. Hose before toes. Right. This is gross. It's like a bunch of, Epstein friends just fighting each other, or Epstein friend supporters fighting each other. No, but they're Biden supporters, and Biden is super, super creepy about little kids. So, silence is violence. If you're going to sit there and support the person and not believe other people, like Tara Reid, then you support it. You know, I don't care if I've known somebody my entire life. If I found out that they did something like that, they would no longer be my friend anymore. I'm sorry. I could never support somebody that does that. And seeing them sit there do that with Joe Biden, even though, you know, they say that he's doing bad stuff and they say that they talked about it, they still voted for him. So that's showing support. And that's gross to me because I know Tara. So fuck that. You couldn't reach the water from the plants. You got to hit the plants. Hit them. You're welcome. Last video. Can I watch the popular video titled Jet Li versus Japanese General? It's the video that's 9 minutes long. Let's see if we can find it. Is it going to give me a copyright strike? My shit is slow today. I might have to clean out my computer. Jet Li versus Japanese General. Is this a movie? I don't think I can play it if it's a movie. Oh, no copyright infringement intended. Video, full credits to the owner. Just use this for entertainment only. Okay. It's the 9 minute long one. So the top one, that's 9 minutes and 48 seconds. All right. I hope I don't get in trouble. I gotta pee again, so enjoy this while I pee, and then we'll get back into some. I got Casey Anthony, Nikita Dragun. I still want to learn about DeSantis and the Elon Musk blue check. So I've got about an hour left of the show after this. So think about what we want to learn next. Either DeSantis, Casey Anthony, Nikita Dragun, or Elon Musk's blue check bullshit. So yeah. Oh my God, I'm about to piss myself. Okay. Yeah, use the same disclaimer. Exactly. All right, here we go. Well, this is interesting. Is this like an older movie? Uh-oh. Am I still online? Please tell me I'm still on. Am I still on? God, he looks so young. Are you over here, Les Bones? I'm just chilling, waiting for the stream to come back on. Smoking. Getting high. You're the only one that's in Twitter, so I can do whatever I want now. They're really not going to bring it back, are they? It's taking a little longer than normal right now. Oh, there we go. I'm back. It's taking a little longer than normal right now. Algorithm likes to read the chats to find stuff. Told you I'd be back on, though. No Jet Li, no movies. Obviously, cannot watch movies, so that's a bad idea. Can't do that. All right. I'm back. I'm back. I'm back. I'm back. All right. Hey, I was able to get stoned and smoke a little bit, so it's kind of like a little break for me. If anything, YouTube's like, just take a quick smoke break, bitch. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much. All right. So we can't watch that. That's a no-go. Jesus. So we got we can still watch something about the, with the list that I had. I've got DeSantis, where we can learn about who DeSantis is. We also got the Casey Anthony documentary stuff that we can watch. Not the actual documentary itself, but at least find out about what's going on. We can talk about Nikita Dragun, how she got arrested and what's going on with her. And then we can talk about the Elon Musk, or we can talk about the Elon Musk blue check, controversial, owning Twitter and everything like that. Thank you. Yeah. I'm just always in trouble, so. Did you guys see, what was it, Nick on the Mother of All Talk Shows yesterday? That was a really good episode, too. I really enjoyed watching that. He didn't get enough time to talk, which sucked. Being on like a TV show, you only get like a certain amount of time to be able to talk. I wish he had more time. He was on a roll yesterday. So Casey Anthony is coming out with a documentary. I believe it's like going to be like a 4-part series on Apple Plus, which I don't have. And it's a documentary about her side of the story, about all of that, which I don't even think, like, how are you going to sit there and hash out your own side of the story, after all these years, you're like going to bring it back up again. I don't really think that it's very right of her to do this. No matter what she has to say, no matter what she was going through, she did not say that her kid was missing for a whole fucking month. Okay. And when they did find her kid, she had duct tape on her mouth. Okay. And then even if Casey Anthony's story, with her saying that the baby drowned, why does it have duct tape on its mouth? I don't care what story Casey has to say, this shit was fucking wrong. And her coming out with her side of the story just feels like she's just trying to bring like open old wounds. So your feet are happy that I'm back. Thanks, Jimmy Dore's Garage. It's so cool. Jimmy Dore's Garage. Is Jimmy Dore on that like feet rating website that like Ethan Klein and shit are on? Is he on there too? Because that would be hilarious. I'm not on that. I don't check it out, but I hear about it. Because I guess Ethan Klein is like always trying to be the top dog on there. Yeah, she was a real piece of work. Absolutely was. We got, Let's see what we can learn about DeSantis. Why is he so big? Jimmy's not on an Ethan Klein list. Ethan Klein is on like this foot rating website where you can rate feet. Like who has the best feet out of all these feet pictures everywhere. And Ethan Klein always tries to be like number one on this website. And so seeing like Jimmy Dore's garage and the whole feet thing, it made me think like, does Jimmy Dore, is he part of that website too, where you rate feet? It's a weird website. So weird. Here, I'm going through. This is what I'm doing. I'm looking up who is DeSantis, right? Is Ron DeSantis inevitable? Insider News. Florida Governor Ron DeSantis speaks. Trump and DeSantis rivalry spills into public view. Who is Ron DeSantis by Reuters? Who's Ron DeSantis by Now This News? By Newsweek. Bloomberg, MSNBC. Come on. Takes home victory. Florida Governor DeSantis targets Disney over Don't Say Gay law. Oh, he's like a super conservative, huh? Well, I guess we can watch these 3 different ones about who is Ron DeSantis. These are pretty interesting.
Who is Ron DeSantis, the man described in some quarters as like Donald Trump, but with greater discipline?
I am not backing down 1 inch, and we are going to make sure we stand up to the left.
The current Republican governor of Florida is seeking re-election in November, but he's also touted as a potential presidential candidate in 2024.
Stand firm.
Over the past few years, DeSantis has courted conservative voters on issues such as immigration, abortion, and LGBTQ rights. Let's take a look at how he's become one of the leading voices on the right in America.
I think this November is going to be the time when America fought back.
DeSantis studied at Yale University and has a law degree from Harvard Law School. He served in the U.S. Navy and was deployed to Iraq in 2007 as an advisor. He was elected Florida's governor in 2018 after President Donald Trump endorsed him rather than a more established Republican candidate. His national profile grew during the COVID-19 pandemic when he resisted mask and vaccine mandates and argued for the reopening of schools. DeSantis has taken an aggressive approach to illegal immigration. He sued President Joe Biden's administration over its policies and worked to ban so-called sanctuary cities from being established in Florida. Sanctuary cities are local jurisdictions which seek to limit the deportation or prosecution of unauthorized immigrants. For DeSantis, that includes flying migrants from Texas to Martha's Vineyard in Massachusetts.
We are not a sanctuary state, and it's better to be able to go to a sanctuary jurisdiction. And yes, we will help facilitate that transport for you to be able to go to greener pastures.
DeSantis has been the Republican Party's leading figure in fighting culture wars. His focus has been on education. He has backed restrictions on what educators can teach about U.S. history and race relations. He also championed the so-called Don't Say Gay law that prohibits Florida teachers from discussing sexual orientation with students. It sparked a clash with Disney, a large employer in the state. DeSantis retaliated by stripping away Disney's self-governing authority at its Orlando area parks.
Disney is no longer going to have its own government. They are going to live under the same laws as everybody else, and they are going to pay their fair share of taxes.
As his prominence within the Republican Party has risen, so has talk about DeSantis running for president in 2024. The biggest obstacle in his path is Trump himself, who is expected to run.
We may just have to do it again. We have to straighten out our things.
DeSantis has been cagey about whether he would challenge the former president.
That's interesting. He's definitely super Republican.
Wait 2 weeks. Florida's going to be next. Just like Italy, wait 2 weeks. Well, hell, we're 8 weeks away from that, and it hasn't happened.
That's Ron DeSantis. He's the 46th governor of Florida and a close ally to President Trump. During the coronavirus pandemic, he declared a state of emergency in Florida, which helped secure federal funding approved by Trump himself. But initially, DeSantis refused to shut the state down. So who is he? I'm comedian Udoye Travis, and this is the story of Ron DeSantis. Ronald Dion DeSantis was born in 1978 in Jacksonville, Florida. In 1991, DeSantis was a pitcher and third baseman on a Little League team that went all the way to the Little League World Series.
What the
fuck? He attended the elite Ivy School Yale, where he was a 4-year starter on the baseball team. During his senior year, he was captain of the team and batted .336 from the plate, which, although the competition wasn't nearly as tough, is technically better than Sammy Sosa's best year. DeSantis graduated in 2001. He left the Diamond for good and attended Harvard Law. During a stint at yet another elite Ivy school, he received his Reserve Naval Officer's Commission with an assignment to the Judge Advocate General's Corps, or JAG. The next year, in 2005, he finished Naval Justice School and was assigned to a station in Florida as a prosecutor for JAG. He graduated from Harvard around the same time. At Guantanamo Bay, DeSantis' job was to advocate for the fair and humane treatment of the detainees and to make sure the U.S. military complied with the law.
The Christmas of 2006, I wasn't home with my family. I was in Guantanamo Bay, Cuba at the terrorist detention facility, not as a detainee, as an officer.
But it's unclear how good DeSantis was at his job of making sure detainees were treated humanely because, of course, the U.S. military has been accused of torture, violating international law, and mass human rights abuses in their detention center in Guantanamo Bay.
I'm glad that he mentioned that because, I did not know that he was working at Guantanamo Bay at that time. And holy shit, no wonder you're super Republican. I bet you're hiding some dirty, dark secrets from that place. Nasty.
Detainees held there have not even been charged with a crime, and some of the prisoners have been cleared for transfer yet still remain imprisoned.
Ron DeSantis, Iraq War veteran, JAG officer who dealt with terrorists in Guantanamo Bay.
In 2007, DeSantis went to Iraq, serving as a legal advisor to SEAL Team 1. He was awarded a Bronze Star for his service and received an honorable discharge in 2010. A few years later, in 2012, DeSantis announced he was running for a congressional seat in Florida's 6th district. He won the race by a landslide. In the House, DeSantis signed a pledge, backed by fossil fuel profit-obsessed billionaires, the Koch brothers, vowing to vote against any global warming legislation that would raise taxes. DeSantis was reelected 2 more times.
Okay, so this guy was raised as a military. I mean, he obviously went to the best of the best schools, took law, probably did cases that he would always win, like accident attorneys or something. Went to the military, turned himself into a robot. That way he listens, to authority and does what he's told, and then got into politics. Yeah, he's definitely like the career politician, the born and bred to be this super conservative American guy. Absolutely. Wow, it's gross. It is. It's awful. Ugh.
2014 and 2016. During his time in the House, he became a founding member of the Freedom Caucus, the far-right group within the House which advocates for extreme conservative legislation. He also spoke about super important issues on Fox News frequently, like Beyonce and Jay-Z taking a trip to Cuba.
It's not really an educational trip if you're going there on a wedding anniversary. That's basically just pure tourism.
In 2016, DeSantis ran for Senate after Marco Rubio announced his bid for the presidency. But after Rubio's failed campaign, DeSantis withdrew from the running and focused on getting re-elected to the House. In 2018, after Trump tweeted that DeSantis is a brilliant young leader who would make a great governor, the former baseball star announced his candidacy to succeed the unfinished escaped AI from Westworld, Rick Scott.
Well, as you remember, a few weeks ago, the president tweeted support for me as a candidate for governor of Florida. So today we're going to be filing the paperwork to begin that effort.
During the Republican primary, DeSantis leaned heavily into Trump's endorsement.
Ron loves playing with the kids.
Build the wall.
He reads stories.
Then Mr. Trump said,
"Oh my God, I remember this commercial. I fucking remember this. I did not know this was Ron DeSantis. Oh no. Oh no, 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 no."
Governor. He'd go up against the Democratic Tallahassee mayor, Andrew Gillum, in the general, who would have been Florida's first black governor. The race was heated from the start, and just mere hours after the primary results, DeSantis made a racially charged comment against Gillum, obviously.
The last thing we need to do is to monkey this up by trying to embrace a socialist agenda.
After the interview, a Fox News host made an announcement on behalf of the company saying on air, "We do not condone this language," which says a lot coming from Fox News. Soon after DeSantis' racial slur, his association with racism was brought to the forefront. The Washington Post reported DeSantis spoke 4 times at conferences organized by conservative activist David Horowitz, who has said that African Americans owe their freedom to white people and that the country's only serious race war is against whites. DeSantis praised the work of Horowitz in a speech.
Well, that's pretty typical of conservative Republican politicians, so it seems right down his fucking alley. This guy is gross. Why did you guys let me look him up? This is horrible.
Saying, "David has done such great work. I've been to these conferences in the past, but I've been a big admirer of an organization that shoots straight, tells the American people the truth, and is standing up for the right thing." DeSantis was also criticized for taking a donation from someone who once called President Obama a Muslim on Twitter. The DeSantis campaign condemned the comment, but he didn't return the money.
But what do you say to Florida voters who have concerns about your keeping the money from that contributor, your comments, and about your tolerance?
Because he made a mistake, he apologized.
But the donor, who has contributed at least $22,920 to DeSantis' campaigns over the years, didn't apologize. In fact, he defended his racist comments, saying, "So somebody like Chris Rock can get up on stage and use the word and there's no problem, but some white guy says it and he's racist? Really?" Gillum called DeSantis out on all of it.
Now, I'm not calling Mr. DeSantis a racist. I'm simply saying the racists believe he's a racist.
Despite his close association to racists and spewing rhetoric that pleased them, DeSantis initially won the race by a count of 100,000 votes. Gillum conceded, but he took back his concession as late-counted ballots poured in, bringing the race within a margin of 0.4%. A recount was triggered, but 3 counties missed the recount deadline, and it wasn't extended. DeSantis was named the winner with at least 584,000 ballots left out. The next gubernatorial election in Florida will
And that's exactly how Republicans win. So, sounds like cheating to me on the Republican side as well.
Place in 2022. But until then, keep your eye on this elite Ivy League school educated former Guantanamo Bay based lawyer who loves accepting campaign donations from folks who tweet out the N-word, Ron DeSantis.
That's bad. Florida's bad. I mean, I guess fucking California has like the Democrat version of that. Let's see what Newsweek says. Okay, went to Yale and Harvard. We saw that. Be an officer and an attorney. What's up, Miguel? Good to see you. We saw all that, or we just learned that. Freedom Caucus. Repeal of ACA. Criticize Robert Mueller investigation. That's all right. You can add a bunch of M's if you want to. That's what Les Bones does too. Since becoming governor, he's been in the spotlight for his controversial stances. He was criticized for handling of COVID-19 or cocoa virus when he refused to shut down beaches, even though they were saying he got a bunch of money for it, calling it a state of emergency, but he didn't close it down. Stole money. And the conservatives want to talk about how like there's an inflation problem because of the PPP loans and shit. Like, Okay, this is the reason why. Suppressed access to mail-in voting. Restrict. Okay, so he wrote a bill, record level due to record-breaking turnout, last presidential election. Signed other controversial bills, banning transgender athletes from playing girls and women's sports. Well, what about trans boys that want to play in boys' sports? Instituting what? Public schools to require moments of silence be held. What? Every morning for students to reflect and be able to pray as they see fit. That's disgusting. What? One requiring public schools to survey students, faculty, and staff. About their viewpoints and belief to ensure intellectual diversity. You mean Christian brainwashing? That's wild. Holy shit. What was this, Holly? You found LaRouche stuff with Jose Vega. They want you to create an account so you get on their list. There was something on Facebook which I don't use. Wait, they want me to create an account so I can get on their list? I have an account on Facebook already. What's happening? Is that for me, Holly? Do you want to send me like a message about it? And I can read what's going on and what exactly is they're wanting to happen. Looks like that might be his wife right here. Is that his wife? Wait. Okay, you found LaRouche stuff with or they want you to create an account. Oh, they want you to create an account so you get on their list. There was something on Facebook. Okay, the LaRouche wants people to do that. Okay. What is LaRouche? I've never even heard of that before. Man, my shit is so slow. I don't understand why my computer is so slow today. LaRouche, right? LaRouche. The LaRouche Intelligence Digest, the LaRouche Pack Action and Update. Yeah, I have no idea. I'm on Facebook looking, but I don't see anything about like Jose Vega in here. Independent LaRouche anti-war candidate challenging Chuck Schumer on the ballot on the Jimmy Dore show. Lyndon LaRouche. Hold on. Lyndon. Real Lyndon LaRouche. Lyndon LaRouche is not a communist. He's a nut job. Students Against Lyndon LaRouche. The LaRouche Organization. The End of Liberal World Empire. Lyndon LaRouche wrote Operation Juarez in 1982 to address the debt crisis in Iberoamerica, advocating debt reorganization and forgiveness to allow nations to defend the lives of their citizens. It was defeated then, now in a worse global debt crisis, including in the advanced sector. His ideas are more relevant than ever. Join us. Put an end to the genocidal looting policies of the financial cartels. It's an organization associated with Haas, Kayla Maupin, and Hinkle. Well, this is what I'm looking at. I'll show you guys. I have no idea what this shit is right here. So like this right here, LaRouche organization. Oh, here we go. Has been good as far as geopolitical coverage, but philosophically has been frustratingly erratic. He's much more eloquent here. Reminds me of him at his best last year. Even if you hate Lyndon LaRouche, his framing of LaRouche's speech is well wrought. And if he can constantly prove he believes in this, his passion for the creative potential of humanity, uninhibited by unipolar imperialism, resonates with me, this person says. There was a candidate, Diane. Yeah, that's what I was seeing. Some lady named that was running. So here's more of Lyndon LaRouche. I've never even heard of this guy. Yeah, I've never even heard of this person before. The late Lyndon LaRouche insisted that poetry must supersede mathematics as the language of science. We believe also that creativity at great turning points in history requires poetry as its language. Consider this as you read Dan Leach's travelogue below about his visit to Rome. Okay. Stockwell radio show with guest Lyndon LaRouche the morning of 9/11. LaRouche warned there would be such attacks. You know, interesting enough, just yesterday I received, I think it was just yesterday, a bundle of leaflets from your organization in Leesburg. I regularly pass out my office, warning of terrorist attacks in America here very shortly. Who is this guy? This is weird. I'll have to look more into this guy at some point. Apparently he's going to save us from World War III, even though he died already. He knew very well that the U.S. would bring continuous wars in the world with excuse of emergency legislation. Exactly the same logic Nazis used. Predicted 9/11 false flags attacks 8 months before they happened. These people are like stuck in 9/11 still, I swear. Never forget. This is interesting. Democratic Party heads to extinction. What the fuck? Fair assessment of Lyndon LaRouche and his group way back in 1986 when one of their candidates made through the ballots prior to election has got America's attention now. On this day in history, don't care. Lyndon and the Russian-American Strategic Partnership for Global Development. Huh. What is this? The LaRouche organization, they got they have a YouTube channel apparently. This is very long. That guy looks like somebody I don't like. Bunch of chuds, man. I don't know. It's interesting. Yeah, I've never heard of this guy before, so I have no idea. Oh, it's already 1:30. I'm running out of time. Let's see about let's do Casey Anthony and then we'll be done for the day. Oh, here is her new thing. Oh, it's going to be on Peacock, sorry. So she breaks silence in an infamous daughter death case. Nancy on TMZ rips Casey Anthony's document as money in a fame grab. Of course Nancy does. Nancy's fucking nuts. Casey Anthony breaks 11-year silence on her daughter's murder. She always tries to make herself look so fucking innocent, and I hate her for this. All right, so let's see what the trailer is about. You know what? There might not be any sound on here because I don't have the right thing open. There you go. They just did like the...
Why talk to me now when you're not getting creative control?
Oh, well, that's like the shittiest teaser trailer I've ever seen in my entire freaking life. All right, let's see what TMZ has to say. Didn't she try to blame a Hispanic man for her daughter's murder? I don't remember that part. I thought she said that her baby, when they found her baby with the duct tape over her face in the forest, I thought she said that she drowned, which doesn't make sense. Why was she, why didn't she say anything for a whole month? And why did she put her out in a forest with duct tape over her mouth?
Executives at Peacock aren't dumb. They knew this was coming. So why do it? It is the only reason they would do this. They're in a business. They clearly know that there's going to be an audience and that this is going to be profitable for them.
Because they're going to make money. That's why they're doing it. And it's on us whether we watch it or not. And I would like to point out that I was contacted by this group when the director was still working on it to have a sit down with Tot Mom Casey Anthony under these conditions. And I said, absolutely not. Because when I learned I couldn't ask the questions I wanted, I couldn't control what was happening, no way. Because she's going to do exactly what we predict. She's going to have softball questions and lie her way through it with no one to test her, such as under cross-examination. And this is a way for her to get fame, notoriety, as if she needed any more, and probably money. Now, Peacock may say, oh, we're not paying for an interview. Again, BS. You guys have heard of licensing fees for photos. Sure, we're not going to pay you for your interview, but I'll pay you 20 grand for a picture of Kelly. Yeah, that's how that works. I can tell you this, they're going to make a mint. Is it distasteful? Yes. What concerns me is that we are not learning anything. There's no furtherance of the truth. There's no furtherance of justice. This is just, in my opinion, a money and fame grab, and Peacock's going right along with it.
Yep. I have to agree with her on that. She's definitely getting away with a lot of stuff by being able to do this, bringing it all up again. I mean, she even got acquitted during this, and we all know she fucking did it. So this is just her trying to get out there and get her name known again. Law and Crime did one on her, it looks like, as well.
Casey interview, ABC marker.
Sitting for her first interview on TV about the case. I'm Anjanette Levy, and welcome to this latest edition, because this little girl, her almost 3-year-old daughter, had been apparently missing for 31 days before she was ever reported missing. And so Casey Anthony was ultimately charged with first-degree murder, child abuse, manslaughter, and lying to law enforcement. She was ultimately acquitted of the most serious charges at her trial back in 2011. It was somewhat shocking to a lot of people, as was the defense in this case. So why would Casey Anthony, after all of this time, now after nearly a dozen years, come out and sit for an interview for a 3-part docuseries? Jonna Spilbor is a criminal defense attorney, and she is here to talk with me about this. Jonna, welcome to Sidebar. Thanks for coming on.
Thank you for having me.
Jonna, I know you followed this case. I followed this case. I remember when this trial was on, I was working an early morning shift in local news, and I would race home from work every day around 12:30 just so I could watch to see what was going on in this trial. People really wanted to know what was going to happen. And I think it was a pretty stunning case because of what came out in the opening statements in that case. People may not remember this, but Casey Anthony said that her attorney, I guess did, Jose Baez at the time, said that basically that little Kaylee drowned in the family swimming pool and that her dad, George Anthony, tried to help cover this up by hiding the little girl's body. It wasn't found for many months and there were skeletal remains. There were claims of incest that George Anthony denied. He denied abusing Casey Anthony. So it was a stunning, stunning verdict, I think, for a lot of people. What were your thoughts on the verdict?
Yeah, precisely the same. This was one of those cases, I think, that had the country riveted for a number of reasons, but we had such an innocent victim, right? There's no more innocent victim than a small child. And then we had her mother, who was a villain, who in everybody's eyes, but for her defense attorneys, was a true villain. I mean, we saw the evidence that the prosecution put up that, here you have a child who is allegedly missing, although most of us thought that she knew that she had met her demise. Missing, and you have a mother that's out getting pictures and partying and having a grand old time. And normal human beings could not wrap our minds around that under any circumstances. And then when you fast forward to the end of the story and she's acquitted, I think we had a collective, mouth dropping to the floor as a society on this one. And it still stings to this day. It still stings.
It does sting. And there was a lot of talk even back then. She was released from jail. She had gotten credit for time served or what have you. And I should mention, Children's Services believed she was ultimately responsible for her daughter's death. She is the one that, that's not a criminal charge, but the Children's Services Department believes she was ultimately responsible. It's your daughter. You're in charge of her. You're responsible for her well-being and her care. But, she's acquitted. She walks out of the jail with Jose Baez. She kind of goes into hiding. There was all this talk even back then. Will she do an interview? Who will the first interview be with? There was all this speculation and gossip. And a lot of news organizations really looked at this interview, a possible interview with Casey Anthony, as something that is not a good idea, was not a good idea, and that it was like too hot to handle. So I don't understand what could possibly have changed with the passing of 10 or 11 years.
Oh, I'll tell you 2 words: money, honey, because this country has such a voracious appetite for all things true crime. And I'm a fan of true crime too, except when the victim of the true crime is a child. Like we've had other podcasts, right? The serial podcast, for example, where we tune in and we love to hear about people who are accused of crimes who may be innocent. I mean, we love to dig into this. And other things that we consume in the media where we try to dissect a crime ourselves, and we eat that up. Casey Anthony is in a position now, because she's been acquitted.
We eat it up. We definitely do. And I don't understand the obsession with this one and why people were, you could tell she was like hungry for the attention and loved the fame, the infamy. So yeah, it's gross.
Basically everything. I think maybe one little charge stuck after her appeal, but that's all said and done. That she really has nothing to lose by coming out and telling her story. And I'm sure that she's not, well, I'm not sure she's not doing it for free. If I had to guess, I'd say she's not doing it for free. There's totally a double jeopardy argument to be made that she can't even put a foot in her mouth. She was legally acquitted, so there's no harm, no foul in her profiting from telling her story. And it's almost, it's kind of like O.J. Simpson all over.
She can go around saying the truth now if she wanted to, and she can't. Nothing can happen to her because there's double jeopardy. So, yeah, she'll never get charged for these again now that she's been acquitted. She can obviously go to tell the truth, but now she wants to come out 12 years later and probably get some more pity and some more fame. It's gross.
Yeah, it kind of is. And it was on that level almost. It was a huge case for people who don't recall this, but I think a lot of people probably do. And this docuseries, it's going to be 3 parts. It's called Casey Anthony, Where the Truth Lies. It's going to come out on Peacock later this month. And there's so much backlash against this on Twitter. People saying that they're going to cancel their Peacock subscriptions. There was a journalist, Ryan Gorman, a former journalist, I should say. This is morally bankrupt. Just canceled my Peacock subscription. Who else is with me? # cancel Peacock. Another person, a true crime podcaster, said something to the effect of, well, I'll watch this. I'll watch her lie her, ASS off for a few hours or what have you. So there's a lot of backlash against this and a lot of people saying they won't watch it. I don't understand why. Yes, money, honey. I get the point there. This is supposed to include personal archives, according to the director, personal archives of Casey Anthony, and for her to tell her story, things of that nature. So how much do you think that she might be getting paid all in all?
Quite a bit, again, because I do think there's a big appetite. Now, maybe that might change. The narrative might change if the people who are paying her are also going to get canceled, which, sidebar, okay, I'm probably not going to watch it. I don't believe in the whole cancel culture thing. If you disagree with it and you don't want to watch it, well, then of course, don't watch it. But there will be people who will want to watch it, if for no other reason than, if they want to watch her lie some more. Now, she did not testify in her own defense at the trial, and this might be, her 15 minutes, another 15 minutes for her, and that might be very selfishly motivated. But again, everybody is entitled to make up their own minds as to whether she should be talking, shouldn't be talking. But there'll be eyeballs on this. There will be eyeballs on this for whatever reason.
Yeah, there definitely will be. And the director is Alexandra Dean. She says this series will allow people to look at the case in a new light. I don't see what new light we could view this case through. We had a trial back in 2010, 2011. 2011 it was when the trial was held, and she was acquitted. We basically know all of the facts according to her defense and then according to the prosecution. This is somebody who took off and partied for a while her daughter was missing. And let's not forget, Jonna, Zanny the nanny. Remember Zanny the nanny? She said that she left Kaylee with Zanny the nanny, and everybody was thinking, does that mean Xanax? Like, there was no Zanny the nanny. So I just don't understand. And apparently, Casey Anthony had no creative control over this or no editorial control, according to the director. So, I mean, yes, you cannot watch it if you don't want to, but as a criminal defense attorney, do you see anything good coming out of this for Casey Anthony?
I really don't. I really don't, because we've kind of already made up our minds as a society about her. There's nothing that she's going to be able to say. There's no new light, quote unquote, that's going to have anybody sitting there going, oh, yeah, you know what? I guess she really is not guilty. Oh, darn. In all these years, nobody is going to do that. And I think it's disrespectful on some level to Kaylee Anthony, to be honest with you. Not to mention the fact that, her own father, who she tried to throw under the bus, unsuccessfully on a certain level. And what does Jose Baez have to say about this? Is he going to be featured in this too? Because that's another thing. He needs to walk a very, very fine line here between patting himself on the back and interjecting in something like this. I would be very careful if I were him.
Well, we don't know if Jose Baez is taking part, but I can tell you that we reached out to him for this segment to see if maybe he'd want to come on, and he declined and really said nothing about it. So that's where Jose Baez stands as far as we can tell from this. And the tease, that this is quite the teaser for this trailer. They basically ask her why she's doing this, and then it goes to silence. So they're really banking on people watching this. So Jonna Spilbor, a criminal defense attorney, trial watcher, thanks so much.
Are you guys gonna watch it? Does anyone have Peacock? Is gonna watch it? Because I don't think I will. Honestly, I don't even have Peacock, so it don't matter to me. All right, so today, who do we got? I think Joe Evans is gonna be on tonight, right? Yeah, it is Thursday. So Joe Evans will be on. Let me see what he's gonna be talking about. I believe, hold on. Oh, he hasn't even put it up yet, but he will be on today. So keep your eye out for Joe. I'm going to head over in here. Oh, Nikki's already on. So we'll go and raid Nikki over on Twitch. All right. Okay. We just raided Nikki. All right. So that is it. Keep your eye out for Joe Evans today. I don't know who else is going to be on. My brain's a whole mumbled and jumbled right now. I'm trying to figure out how I'm going to clip this up today, if I even am going to. So yeah, no, have fun over there, Les Bones. Let me know when you want me to hop on. I can get on at any time today. We'll get some grounded going. Whoop whoop. Keep your eye out for us tomorrow morning. I will be back again. Probably talk about the Elon Musk blue check thing and the Nikita Dragun thing. If I don't find any other news articles, if you guys want anything, or if you want me to talk about anything, please feel free to send it to me. I am Jimmy Saves World on Twitter. Yeah. Still stuck. I think that's Les Bones talking over at Nikki's thing. Or is it still stuck with us? I think it's going to wait until I'm done and I turn it off. I'm not sure. I don't know how Twitch works. I just push the raid button and go. Yeah, so keep your eye out for that tomorrow. We'll be back tomorrow. Tomorrow night, I'm going to be on Warren's show on Extra Booyah for the Secret Midnight Show. Midnight for East Coast, 9 p.m. for West Coast. And I believe that's it. Oh, you are still here. Yeah, I think it's going to wait till I'm done and then it'll send you guys over. So All right. Check you all later. Maybe it didn't work. Let me try it again. Hold on, it's going. Okay. I'm sending you guys there now. There we go. All right, now it says it in the thing that I sent them. Okay. I am going to get out of here. I will see you all tomorrow. I did not mean to do that already. I'm so tired. All right, peace out. I will see you all tomorrow.